What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Collectors Conversation podcast. I don't know what I'm calling it anymore. But my name is Gonzo, and today my guest is Collecting Kate. Kate, how are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Hanging in
great. I'm
there?
great. I'm yeah, pretty much at this point in the hobby. I think we're all just hanging. Um, great to see. Great to talk to you. We met in a creators group chat. Um, So I'm really happy that there's people actually collaborating in there now. But let's say hello to the chat really quick. We have Love Wins DG. How you doing? And Sean Bowden. Thank you guys for coming in. Let us know how the audio is. It's another Mac,
Good for
so
me.
hopefully it's not as bad as it was with Son of a Merc. Um, but we are here. We're going to talk Blooming Waters. We're going to talk about Instagram, TikTok, and anything you guys want to talk about. The Q&A is open. Get your questions ready. Make your statements. And let's find out who Collecting Kate is together. Kate, how you doing? Let's
Doing
talk about your history in the hobby. You are on Instagram, which is probably your largest platform as of right now. You have over 500 subs on Instagram, not Instagram, but YouTube. Everyone, the link is in the description for her YouTube channel. Go
oh,
check her
thanks.
out. And you just started on Twitch.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's been
Uh,
fun. I've had it
yes.
up for a while, but I haven't streamed. So last week was my first week that we did a cross-platform stream because my main thing right now is Instagram Live. Uh,
Yeah.
so so yeah. What was I think you're gonna ask a different question or a question along with that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. No, it's okay. That's fine. I am married. I'm used to getting cut off.
Right?
No, the question was going to be how or why did you start from Instagram before starting on YouTube or TikTok or any other platforms that are growing so fast for other community members?
So I started with Instagram because that was my comfort zone, to be honest. I feel like anyone coming into the hobby, if they want to live stream or anything like that, go with your comfort zone. Like I had a private account when Instagram first started, and I was familiar with the use, like how to use it. And I had never done lives or anything like that, but I just was like, I know how to, put stories up and reels and just have fun. And so that's kind of, it was a comfortability, I guess, would be my
Right.
answer to that. And then I started the YouTube along with it, but I just wasn't as active on YouTube, which is something I know you and I have talked about as well, is, getting more reels out on YouTube. One of the sticking points for me for a long time was there was a cutoff for the shorts for 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
And on Instagram, it was 1 minute, 30 seconds. And a lot of mine went over just a hair, like even if it was like a minute, 5 seconds or whatever it
Yeah.
was. And so then I'd have to go and re-edit my whole, and it's like me ripping cards. Like, how do you, besides fast forwarding that, like a transition, it was just a lot. So like
Yeah.
I kind of just stuck with one, and then I started to gradually posting different platforms. Like I'm new to TikTok as well. Like I finally opened my TikTok. Twitch has been up for a while, but like I said earlier, I hadn't been streaming on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be fun. We have a goal to affiliate this month, so hopefully we'll make that goal with cross platforming streams. So if you guys in the chat right now, if you follow the link below, I'm hopefully going to be cross platforming for Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. That's my goal, is to
Yeah.
have all of them. So
Yeah, familiarity helps so much because I think that's why I started with YouTube because I'm old. I'm 36, so I start like I've been watching YouTube since 2009. Um, and I think I was just more comfortable with that, with not just the space, but with the people. Because
right,
when I'm sure you see it now, when you go to your Instagram comments, your YouTube comments, they're very drastic sometimes, especially in the very beginning, because they're still trying to build a community. So
right,
YouTube and Instagram are both, they push out different algorithms to different people. So you do get different people in the very beginning until I feel like you get that community built where the majority of the people in there are what or who you want to see.
right.
Um, and I need to thank Dorian for joining up on the Mullet Mob. Thank you so much. Meet Virginia says, "Hey Gonzo, hey Kat." Kev the
Hey,
Poker Go says, "Yo, how's it going, Gonzo? Hey Kat." The audio sounds great, which I'm glad to
great.
see because
I'm
no
glad
one's
to
talking
hear.
about it.
I see Meet Virginia had said Kate is popping off on Instagram. I appreciate you. I
was getting there. You're skipping over people. No, it's fine. I skip over people too. It's okay.
I'm actually, while you're talking, going to actually post, because I did not on there's like a little, where you can like put your what you're doing on your thing. Just a quick little.
I never use the notes, but I like it. I like that feature.
It's nice because if you go to message someone, it's at the very top.
Mm-hmm.
So
2 months down and a lifetime to go, says Kev the Polka Ghost. Thank you for re-upping your membership.
That's
means
awesome.
a lot. Don't forget, guys, I'm going to shield myself because I love self-promotion. I promote everyone else when they come on the podcast. I'm going to promote myself for a second. Don't forget, the end of the year giveaway for the binder series is only for members. So if you want that binder with awesome cards to represent my 12 friends of the community, you're going to want to join up in the membership. You can join now or you can join in December. It's up to you, but it's for members only.
I'm gonna have to get up in that binder. I mean, you got to show me some of that. If you have it next to you, I want to see what it is. I've missed this. You guys, he's ready. He's ready to go.
Okay. So it's in the card prison binder, of course, gonzo10 at cardprison.com. There's only 4 left of the black ones.
Oh, that's nice.
So as you guys know, Card Prison is a top loader binder.
Oh, those are nice. Yeah, the top loaders.
It also has regular sleeve pages. So this is the perfect trade night binder if you guys are looking to go to trade nights, go to conventions. You can show off what you want to show off in the front, and then in the middle, those are your cards that you can trade and maybe put the playables in there that most people don't know about. But this page is the first video we did for January. This is Rock Sandy's page. These are his favorite Pokemon and other cards that I find funny for him, so that's what they're about.
That's awesome.
In February, I'll be going up to Frankensons to record that episode, and you don't get to know who that friend is until you guess in the comments or until you watch the end of the video when I give it away. But yeah,
shout out Mike's MD. What's up, man? He's one of a huge supporter. I saw him last week. He jumped in both my Instagram and my Twitch, so I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I saw him last night. Good dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's the binder I'm talking about. There's gonna if I succeed in each challenge of the month, it's gonna continue. But if it ends early, like if I fail next week, whatever cards are in there, that's what the giveaway is. So we're hoping it goes all the way to December. Yeah. So the prison binder is like a mullet business, up in the front, party in the back. Yeah. That's exactly what
that's exactly right.
That is exactly what it is. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and I guess that segues. I know words.
I know where you go with it.
Yeah, but apparently my brain didn't because it went mid-stroke on me. So, talking about content creation, how do you plan? Because you're, like Virginia said, you're popping off right now on Instagram. Your reels are really good. Then they're hilarious.
Thank you.
How do you plan out or film your reels? You just wake up one day and you're like, you know what? This sounds like a good idea. Because some reels.
Pretty much. That's bingo. Like that's, if something comes in my head, I have a notepad on my phone and I could be driving the car and get to a stoplight and I'm like, I have an idea. And then I'll just quickly write something down, or, maybe I'm cooking dinner and I just hey, you know what? There's one nostalgia reel I did that was on the Goofy movie, right?
Yes.
And so you saw that, the Cheese Whiz, all right? Yeah. I ran out of cheese. And so I was it was for taco night, and so I was just I don't know. I was man, cheese. And I'm I remember that. I remember the Cheese Whiz can. And it just went in my mind. And I'm yeah, leaning power of cheese. Because that's what I joked with my brother about it. We would fight over the cheese spray and so it's
leaning tower of cheese.
Right. Exactly. And so it was definitely a fun thing as a kid. And, that's the big thing is I the reels that I do. I want to have fun with what I create, but also at the same time, I want to like
No, I
reflect
want
on good
cheese.
times. What?
Mike says, now I want cheese.
Yeah, see, I
Yes.
mean, cheese. I know. I feel bad for people that are allergic to it. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I have really bad allergies, and so like I can't say much. Like I can't eat seafood and stuff, but like
Yeah.
I'm like cheese.
I'm
That's really
allergic to
hard.
some shellfish. My son's allergic to peanuts, just peanuts. So it's not like he can have peanut oil, but he can't have peanut butter or actual peanuts.
Oh wow,
It's
interesting.
because of the coating, or so there's something on the actual nut that he can't have. I don't remember what it is, but it's not in peanut oil. So
Wow.
that's why he can have it. Like I can't have crab or lobster.
Okay.
But I can have
So we
every
can
other
go out
kind
to
of
eat together
shellfish.
then, pretty
Yeah,
much, because I know you're not gonna take me to a seafood place.
I might because I still love fish. I love
Oh,
fish.
dang. Okay.
Yeah, salmon is. Well, if I can have salmon, steak, pizza are my in poke bowls.
Okay.
Not the poke ball, the poke
No, yeah,
bowl.
I was gonna say that's very close. That
Um,
enunciation.
they're like if I can eat any of that for the rest of my life, I'll be happy.
Wow. See, I've never had a poke bowl, so
But
because
you don't
I
like
can't.
fish.
Well, I can't eat it. So yeah.
Oh, well then
So
yeah,
it's an
then you're
allergy
just
thing.
having a rice. You're having a rice salad. That's all that is.
That's
If you
pretty
have
much.
that.
I like rice. Give me some butter in the rice. We're good.
Yeah. So I married a Filipina. So when I started coming over and eating with the family, I grew up in a white and Hispanic household. So
Okay.
we did the butter thing in rice, and
Yeah.
we added a little bit of soy sauce. So when
Okay.
the first time I did that, my wife, well, girlfriend at the time, and her whole family just like,
Like, look, like, what
the
is going on
fuck
with
did this
you?
white dude do? If you guys are new here, thank you for coming in. If you're coming from her channel, I am a Navy veteran. I am going to drop a couple bombs every once in a while. I do apologize. Um, but just be prepared. I'm sorry for that first F. I'm sure the
Oh,
first,
you're
like
fine.
I'm sure I'm trying. Oh no. Some people get really mad. So I'm sorry I didn't give the warning beforehand. But yeah, they were like, what are you doing? I'm like, don't judge me. Um,
It's
yeah,
good.
so this is
I
normally
butter
how
and white rice, it's
it's
my
so
jam.
good.
I
Yeah,
mean, and then if you wanna make it really Southern for Texan or
you gotta add
Texans know
sugar.
what I'm talking about, you do black eyed peas. So black eyed
No, I don't
peas
like
with
black
white
eyed peas.
rice. See, but that's a Southern you got to in the South, you know?
Yeah, yeah, Lumpia and Ponce sends Dorian. But you see, Dorian's Filipino. He knows he's in the mafia. He's yeah. But this is how the podcast normally goes. We'll talk about Pokemon or content creation, and then we'll go on a rant somewhere else. But I'm glad the chat loves it because that's what this was all focused about when I started this podcast. It lets people know that you are someone else outside of content creation in Pokemon because
Right.
there's that parasocial relationship that we have with other people now that they think that's all you are. Which don't
Right.
get me wrong, that probably is all I am because I've loved this hobby since I was 10. But there's still more to it. Like there's and I'm so glad that people love this series. Um, but to go back to what the original question was for is that like your reels like that's awesome that you have that creative mindset and hypersonic has the same thing or hyperpsychic I mean um, where you guys can just come up with an idea and then make the reel right away. I
Yeah.
can't do excuse me, I can't do that. It's so hard for me to do. Like when I came up with that binder challenge video was back in October. And I was like, okay, and it gave me time to plan everything out, especially since it's supposed to last a whole year. And then there's other videos I need to do in between, and I got to plan those out. When you're doing your YouTube videos, because I've seen you, I think you have one on there now. Will you ever do long form content where you're like, okay, I'm like, how do you think you will handle that? Are you going to try to do it the reels way where like, this is my idea, I'm going to go film it? Or do you think you're going to take a step back and try to plan it out and see what you need from there?
So it's funny because when I first started my Instagram, I had multiple videos that were long form. They're not up anymore just because I feel like, as you grow over time, you feel like
Mhm.
you wanna do better, like what you've learned when it comes to like editing
Right.
techniques or whatever it is. And I felt like it didn't reflect how much I've grown.
Right.
And you know, I like to keep some stuff, like there's still some stuff up from like when I first started.
Was that when
on
the not YouTube TV, Instagram TV was a thing, and you can do like 5-minute reels back then?
No, so this was like I actually posted it as a long form. So
Okay.
but what I did was I just like took a box. There's no editing involved because when I first started mine, that's kind of what I wanted to go with. I wanted it to be very personable, like you were sitting right next to me and we're opening a box together. And I'm still like that. But however,
Yeah.
I do notice now it is nicer to have sometimes different edits or different angles so you can see the cards or you can see, you know, I've kind of grown
Yeah.
from that in a good way, but I still want it where it feels like you're right here hanging out with me. And the first videos that I did were long form because I didn't know any better. Because again, YouTube's not, you know, my like first comfortability. You know, I'm kind of
Right.
learning how
Right.
to navigate YouTube. So it was just kind of like a long form, and I ripped open the 151 Japanese box, and then I think I might have done like a Rift ETB or something like that. There was a couple different ones, and I literally just undid it and just like took out the cards and started ripping them. So it wasn't a bad thing, but it just I didn't feel like it reflected how much I had grown from, you know, even being on Instagram as well, of like the editing
Yeah.
techniques and everything that I know. So I took those down. So the one that you have on my YouTube right now is one that was a short, but again, it went over it went like the 130 mark, and not, so I couldn't put it as a short because they had YouTube still had it as 1 minute where you could just do a short.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me know if it's choppy for me. I know it's delayed a little bit. Are we still good?
Yeah. We're still good.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure. So yeah, so I had so back to what I was saying was that reel that I did, I actually would have posted as a regular short, but I couldn't because it was, and I didn't want
Just
to
that
edit it.
little
It
bit.
was a
Yeah.
great, yeah, it was a great reel. So I was like, I'm gonna leave it as is. I'll just put it as a long form. It's a minute 30, like on the dot, long form. But yeah, to answer your question, I will be doing more long forms. It's something that's definitely going to be, you know, in the works. I got to figure out what I want to do when it comes to long forms. I wouldn't mind, like, if I go to Collecticon or something, doing kind of the interview type long forms as well. So that might be something I'll sprinkle in somewhere
Yeah.
eventually. But as for the technique, my next long form will probably be something opening something. So I don't know if it's going to be prismatic or what, but that's kind of something that I'm going to work on to figure out how I want to do it though, because even if I do 2 different cameras, I still want it to be, you know, like, I don't want to like shut off recording to record at a different angle. You know what I mean? Because then
Right.
that can be controversial. Like, what did you do with your packs? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it feels almost authentic when you have
So,
to do that.
right.
Yeah.
So I think there'll be a good happy medium, but yeah.
In up card says, "Yo, Kate, big help on the editing tip today."
Yeah, awesome. I'm so glad. Yeah, he was in one of my comments. I believe on one of my reels or something had asked the editing, what I liked for editing app wise, which, you know, a lot of us like CapCut, you know, and it's an easy one to use. I recommend that one if it still sticks around. There's other
Yeah.
editing forms, you know,
Yeah,
that's
don't forget to
controversial
put
too.
your iPhones on eBay that have TikTok still on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's up and running now, but it was cut off.
Yeah.
So I was already making a transition from not using that app just because, you know, we don't know what's going on. But for right now, it's up. So, you know, if you want to use
Mhm.
it. And then they were asking on, I think, sorry, I didn't see who ended up asking the other question, but Mike for editing. Let's see.
Inept asked the other
Yeah,
question.
okay, Inept. Yeah, he asked about how for memes, how do you record or, you know, that kind of thing, like meme.
Yeah.
And obviously there's templates on CapCut. A lot of times I'll use my own though. Like I will film it, I'll overlay it, I'll remove the background, and I'll make the meme myself. So it just kind of depends on what it is.
Yeah.
So that answered the question on his.
Dorian wants to know, how do you feel about DaVinci versus CapCut? I know DaVinci has a higher learning curve.
You know, honestly, I haven't used DaVinci. I'll just be honest. So I actually don't know how to answer that question. I've actually only used CapCut for when it comes to that. I mean, I've used other softwares, but I haven't used DaVinci, so I can't really speak on it, you know.
Yeah. Um, you brought up Collecticon and other events. I personally, I think card opening videos are I thought they were dying. But like if you
Yeah.
asked me this back in October, like how do you think card opening videos would be? I would think they were dying. I don't think
I don't know.
people
I've
are
seen a lot
interested
of
in
people
watching
pop
it.
off on them now.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and I think it's because of Prismatic Evolution and then Journey Together. Like all these sets are so hyped that people.
Yeah.
And
Want to see
Opossum
them.
made a great video about it today. Like, not everyone can get their hands on it, so it feels more exclusive than it actually is. Um, so I think like I would have said like video opening videos are great as like fillers. Like oh, so like I don't have anything, haven't put anything out in a while. Let me open a video. If you, but I still firmly believe that those other videos like the vlogging videos, like going to Collecticon or interview videos where you're asking people questions, I think that's still the route people want to see in the hobby. It's so hard to see where everyone wants to go now because there's so many new people in as well.
Right.
So
I
I
think
guess
it's,
that would. Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was gonna say, I think that's why I've transitioned to different things besides ripping. You know, like if you really go back in my Instagram, for instance, you'll see I ripped every single day. Just ripped
Yeah.
everything, much like what Powder does. But I didn't do like the editing techniques because again, I just wanted you to like be able to flip the camera. And I love
Yeah.
what he does. That's a homie. So shout out Powder.
Powder's one of my best friends. I love
Yeah,
him.
so shout out Powder. And so I
Let
love
Powder
what
get
he
the
does.
page in the binder. You just don't know what month.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so like, when it comes to like, if you go back, I used to do that every day. And him and I have had conversations about this before
Mhm.
too. And it's like, I love ripping. That's what I do. That's why every Wednesday night you'll see me stream. I still rip. That's what I like to
Yeah.
do. But I don't want
I think live
all my
streaming
content
and
to be that.
videos are still very much different. And
Right.
like I still do video openings or pack openings too, but I don't do the videos. I do them live because I love to interact with people. Like
Right.
I will feed off their energy and they feed off my energy, which is Meet Virginia's statement. I think it's all about the energy for the card opening. If you're having a good time, the audience will too.
Right.
And I think because so these packs, people called it like people hate Scarlet and Violet. They really do until
They
the
have
hype
some
came around.
beautiful illustration rares
It's
though.
I
Scarlet,
love Scarlet and
Violet.
Violet.
Like,
I
isn't
love it.
Frigibax? Isn't that, if I'm thinking off the top of my head, Frigibax has that really like swirly road and stuff on
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like,
they look
I
like
think
a
that's Scarlet
crackhead.
Violet.
Someone was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm on. Like, look at these colors. I bet I
There's
can
so
mix
many
them."
too. That set is
Yeah,
huge. Yeah.
and I agree. Like the art is so good, and but it's a new generation that people who don't play the game don't know, so they don't care.
Yeah.
And that's why when 151 came out, everyone's like, "This is the best set in the world." It's like, no, it's not. You just know these Pokemon. That's you having a. They don't understand that they have an attachment to them, and
Yeah.
that's why they hate it. But I think when like they just do regular videos, that's when most people are like, there's no interaction unless they get an amazing hit. And Prismatic is so hard on people right now. It's crazy. Right. Son of a Merc says, seems like you'd be able to just pick up a topic and talk about it if you wanted to. Yes.
Is that regarding to both of us or?
I think that's regarding to both of us. Like when you're doing a live stream, you can just pick up a topic and go. But if you're doing a video, I can like if I'm just like going through and like, oh, that's a card, that's a card. Oh, look, this card's pretty cute. That's a card. Right. Like that's a lot of people's emotions and energy when they're by themselves. Like
right.
But not until they get that hit. But because the hobby is so money driven right now, most of the cards, like you'll pull in an art rare, and it might be a beautiful card, but they're like, oh, there's only like a $2 card. This isn't the one we want.
Yeah,
like,
I don't like talking prices like that when I
don't
cards.
either.
Yeah, because that no one wants to hear that. You know what I mean? Like it's just like
that's a controversial statement that no one wants to hear that.
Well, I don't want to hear that. I mean, if I'm watching,
I don't either. But at the end of the day, like it's a money driven hobby right now. So many people are like, how dare you?
No, like, but this is the thing though. I know that's a touch point. Okay,
mm-hmm.
But
I definitely agree with you though.
This is the reason why I'm saying that is if you're watching an opening video you are trying to, like, let's say you had a bad day, right? You don't have any product. You just want to chill. You just want to watch someone rip. You don't want them to rip, and then it's a beautiful gold card, and they're like, this is only $2. It's not a big deal. Like, no one wants to feel like that. Like, I'm sorry, whether you're an investor or not.
Like, oh, it's a gold. Like, and it's crazy because my favorite Pokemon are normally not the big chases of these sets.
I'd like to hear on that.
Yeah. So, like, Raichu from Paldea Evolved, the Sleepy Raichu.
I love that card.
It's a decent priced card for most people, but it's not the biggest hit. So when I pull it, I'm like, fuck you.
Oh, I have freaked out when I pulled that card. I love that card.
But then there's other people like, oh, okay, cool. We got the Raichu. Like, and they just move on. Like,
now it has a lot of hype, though. Are you happy about that?
Kind of. I have a lot.
Okay, wait. I have something to run off on that too. Is it's the same thing with Paldea and Fates. Yeah. Every person that I know,
they hate the Palafin, but Palafin is so good.
Didn't master it, didn't care about it. They're like, oh, it's still on the shelves. Like, well, and I'm like, what? I'm like, they're little baby shinies. Like, how do you not like that?
We spoke power into existence.
And guess what? Now who's laughing now? Because I have a master set of it, and you know,
I don't master set. I used to try to master set things, but these sets are so big now that like
they are very big.
I just buy cards to open, like to hopefully pull my chase cards, and then I go buy the single or I just give up because it's so hard to keep up with everything. Like if you want to master like a legitimate master set of Prismatic, it's over 400 cards. You have the regular card, then you have the reverse, then you have the Pokeball reverse, then you have the Master Ball reverse. That's 4 cards for one Pokemon. And then some have the secret rares, the alt arts, it's insane.
Did you see? I know you were in and out of my stream on Wednesday. Did you see what I had pulled?
From the ETB or?
Yeah, the ETB. But I showed something that I had pulled from release that I have not showed anyone.
If it's, I know it's one of the evolutions. I just don't remember which one. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast last night.
I can show you it, but you had to give me a second.
Night. What the fuck am I talking about? Oh my god. Okay. Powder says, "Who is this troublemaker you got on the podcast?"
You know what? We were just talking about. Were your ears burning? Powder's ears must have been burning.
Existence. Prizzy Master, yeah, absolutely not.
See.
And
okay, I have a reel coming up. Speaking of reels and stuff, okay. Yeah. I have one thing that I feel like will be really helpful for people is I'm going to be working on a reel, and it has to do with the Prismatic set, but I'm going to just show like tips and tips and tricks to master a set, because I've had questions in my DMs. How do you master a set? How do you know, so that's something that is probably going to be a long form video, possibly, where I'm going to actually show like, hey, this is what I go through when I master a set. This is putting all your ducks in a row to master a set. And this is how you do it. And I'm actually going to do it with Prismatic. So I know I'm crazy for saying that.
You absolutely are.
But it'll be a long haul thing because I know it's going to be crazy. For Terrestrial Festival Japanese, I'm mastering that as well. So, I'm getting really close on Terrestrial. So, I should have brought my binder in here for Terrestrial. I'm very close to Terrestrial finishing.
Yeah. Mike says, I think the only set I'm going to try and master is the McDonald's set. Yeah.
That's not a bad gig. That's not a bad gig.
Not at all. So to backtrack to the original question, we were talking about like going to Collecticons, going to other events. What are the events that you do absolutely want to go to this year besides Collecticons? Is there any local shows that you're going to try and hit?
So I have different friends that randomly vendor in the DFW area. So when they like hit me up and they're like, hey, there's something called Indigo League that like I've had a friend vendor at a couple different times, and because of the way it's fallen in my doctoral semester, he's invited me like 2 different times this past semester. I didn't get to make it. So I was like, I'm gonna definitely like this season be out there. The DFW Collecticon I want to do, that's I think in June, I believe, if I remember correctly. And then I've heard a lot of hype on Card Party. I would love to go. It just depends on which location. I know there's a lot of locations. There's 2. Okay, all right. I thought there was more than that. Why
No,
was
you're
it
thinking.
2 or
You might be
3?
thinking of Collecticon. Collecticon is all over the
Okay.
country throughout the year.
Okay.
Yeah. For Card Party,
It's what, Seattle, I think.
Seattle in October, and then Tampa in June.
Okay, so it's another June date. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think last year it was in what, July? I think, or
No, it was in June.
It was in June. Oh, okay. All right.
I think the first one was in July. Powder, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know it was in the summer. I just don't remember when. But the first one was.
I don't know why
that's where I met. So I love Powder so much. So I heard about.
I know
Powder.
you sported his shirt. That's all I hear about from Powder.
I have both of his shirts. Well, he has 3 shirts. I only rock 2 because the other one I can't support.
Oh, so is it the No More Zards card?
No, that's the one I do have.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not sponsored, but go to Powder's merch shop and buy his shirts. They're so comfortable. They're Poke Pair, I love you, but Powder shirts feel better. They even feel better than my shirts. So
well, I will, just so you know, I will have merch come out, and I'm working on hoodies and other things, but mine's gonna be probably more holiday related. Like I have Halloween stuff and Christmas stuff that I've had made. So, but I want to test everything, wash them, like see how they feel, before I get stuff out, just because, I know how that is.
Yourself, or are you gonna go through one of the
I'm gonna probably do Shopify. So. Okay. And like create a website through that kind of thing, just so it's not so much pressure, and they track everything, and it's an easy customer service experience if you had any questions.
I use Spring Tea for mine.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
I have new merch on the store right now. I just haven't promoted it yet because I'm waiting for mine to get in first so I can wear it.
You want to test it? Yeah. See, I'm the same way.
Sean Bowden on the Q&A side. Don't forget, guys, the Q&A is open. So if you guys want a question or a statement you really want us to see, go check it out. He wants to know, what is your favorite vintage and modern set?
Okay. So easy for vintage, Gym Heroes is my all-time favorite. So so that should answer the question on vintage. And then for new set, oh gosh. It depends on what era we're talking about. If we're talking about Scarlet Violet era, then it's gonna be a top.
I would say Sun and Moon and up is modern.
Oh, Sun and okay. I mean, Sun and Moon, they have some gorgeous cards. So I love Sun and Moon. I was gonna say, I know it's cheesy, but the 151. I mean, that's what got me to start my channels.
Nerd.
151 fun. So 151 and Paldean Fates. Those are my tops for Scarlet Violet. So hands down. So I know a lot of people like Twilight and all sorts of stuff, but I love those 2.
Because I love the glaze my boy Raichu. For me, it's Team Rocket. Got the very first secret rare of all Pokemon. It's a Raichu, so I love that one.
Okay.
And then from modern, it's really hard because I love Unified Minds. It has one of my favorite Raichu chase cards of all time, and I love the tag team sets. Shout out to Opossum Bud. He gave me one of my grails, and it's at Beckett right now. I don't care if it doesn't get black label or not.
What was it?
It's the Japanese version of the Raichu card I want, the Altar tag team, where they're chasing each other.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I
love the tag team
grading thing in a second because I love hearing people's thoughts on grading because mine people don't like. Because I don't. Yeah, I just finally sold one of my cards because I've never sold anything in my life.
Okay.
For Pokemon, and I finally sold something because in my personal life, I lost some form of income. I'm okay, guys. I'm okay. I just want to have. I was using that extra form of income for my grading, and I have cards at Beckett and PSA right now. So just to be safe, and I don't have to go into my personal savings. I sold a card just so I can do it.
I'm laughing at we're supposed to sell.
Yeah. I've never and it's funny because Opossum was giving me so much shit in our Discord, and he it wasn't like oh, you're a piece of shit. It was he was giving me a hard time because he knows that I'm not doing it to make money. I'm doing it to put it back into the hobby.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. But where was I going with this? I don't remember.
So you were going to end up asking me questions on grading, I think, eventually.
Yeah, but I don't remember.
But you were answering the question about the vintage and
modern.
yeah, modern.
So Unified Minds is one of my favorites, but of all time right now for modern, I really love Stellar Crown and Surging Sparks. I'm probably Opossum Bud is a hater. Says his wife. I'm gonna go with Unified Minds. I just love it. Like,
that's actually funny. That's like the one older set that I have actually sealed.
I have a booster box sealed too. It was gifted to me.
I'll take a gifted one, you know.
I will open it at 5,000 subs.
Okay, I love that. That's awesome.
Virginia, is that bias?
That's funny.
Hi from Argentina. Hey Mata, how you doing? Thanks for the love from Argentina. We all agree for 151, especially Gonzo says clutch. You are a mogul. Dorian says doctorate. If so, congratulations if you finish your dissertation. If not, then good luck on your hard work.
I actually started dissertation this semester. So
that's awesome.
I'm in the process. Come talk to me. The goal is a year. So I'm there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Sean says, Gonzo, you're going to say how much you love CGC. Oh yeah, of course. I don't like CGC at all. I have CGC graded cards, but they were gifted to me from fans. So they do mean that. That's the reason why I love them. There's a special meaning to me from there. But that leads into the question: when you grade, or if you grade cards, how do you what's your thought process? Do you go on and based on your hey, this is why do you grade certain cards? Righteous don't count.
For me, grading, to be honest, I'm a binder chick. I like my cards raw unless it's something that's very catches my eye. So like right now I have the Gengar VMAX with PSA right now getting graded. So
that's a big one.
That's a big one. So the bigger cards, like the other card that I graded with PSA was from XY Evolutions, the Charizard, the Holo Charizard, which is funny for that because I actually did not rip that set, and I had gotten random 3 packs like from buddies, like whatnots or stream, like from just picked up from friends. And so I had like 3 packs, and the first pack I pulled was in my friend's stream, and it was the Charizard Holo. And then the second pack I pulled, I had a really cool, I can't remember what my reverse was. There's something that I got in, but it wasn't anything like crazy. But then the third pack I pulled was the reverse Charizard. So I just was like, you're following me, Charizard. And I know that's like the chase. So I just was like, this is crazy. I've never opened this set, and I'm just pulling that. But those are the things, like really special cards I would grade, or I have graded in the past. It just kind of depends on what it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a preference. I know that's like a big hot topic on grading and who to grade with. I always hear great things on Beckett, just for like I guess because they have like the pristine and all that. I mean, I don't know much on
Black Label,
and I do like the fact that on there, like if I'm just looking at it like a preference, I do like the fact that they have on there like the centering, the edges, the board, like, and it actually says what it is.
I think that's where CGC extremely messed up.
Yeah.
It does cost extra, but I don't mind paying that extra $1 just so I can have that.
Yeah, I think it looks. I think it looks really nice because it showcases the card, and like, hey, and that's why like for like having, is it a pristine or prestige? I always forget for the
pristine.
Okay, that's what I thought it was pristine. Okay, so but like the pristine labels, those are really like baller. Like I love those.
The black and gold.
So I mean that's just. But I know that they are very tough in grading as well. So there's a lot.
That's why I like them so much.
Yeah, but that's kind of my take.
So I grade cards that I just like. Like if I like the artwork, I'm gonna grade it. If it's my favorite Pokemon, I'm gonna grade it. Like I have Beedrills in there in my like waiting to go to get graded. That people like. It's such an ugly card. Like why would you grade this? Like it's like you're gonna lose money because it's worth more raw. It's one of those.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, first off, I got this card from I like the card I got from Nick from Opossum Bud. I got this card from Opossum Bud. I want it to stay in the condition I got it in because I have kids. My 2-year-old's a fucking terror. So you know, like he did this earlier today. And
kids. It could be kids. It could be cats. I have a friend that their poster collection just got messed up.
In its packaging anymore. I've had this in the packaging for 10 years. That's gone. Funny. This where'd it go? Oh, it's not in arm's reach.
So but, what
Opossum gave me a Funko for Christmas, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. He fucking ripped it as soon as within seconds.
No,
yeah. I mean, he pulled it out of the box, and he was like, "Oh, that's neat."
he's doing you a favor. He's like, I gotta, we gotta showcase this, Dad. That's that's what he's trying to do. I mean,
but yeah, I like to grade things that have, like, of course, I'm gonna grade the cards, the Grail cards that people want, like Charizards. The magic card from Paldea Evolved. If I ever pull it, I'll grade it. But then there's just cards that I want to grade because I love, like Lieutenant Surge cards. Anything with Lieutenant Surge on it, I'm grading it. Anything with Raichu, I'm grading it. My favorite Pokemon, even if it's not my favorite Pokemon, I just think that's really cool art. I'm gonna grade it. I don't care what it's gonna get. Like I think I have like 25 10s and I have a shit ton of 8s and 9s because I don't care. There's a meaning to me on why I graded it, or I just think it's cool to have it like the promos from Hidden Fates, the tins. I graded the Gyarados, Raichu, and Charizard all together, so there'll be sequential order.
Yeah, those are really nice.
But yeah, that's my thought on grading. Like I grade because mostly because there's a meaning to it, but of course, like just like everyone else, I am going to grade the Grail cards just like I was talking about earlier. If I do have to unfortunately sell something, I'll have something that I'm not emotionally attached to, that I don't care about. So the card I sold was the Umbreon VMAX Altart from Evolving Skies. I don't care for that card, but I know it's expensive, so I graded it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the comments where you said they said Gonzo needs glasses. It was cracking me up.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, what's up, Bikini Dratini? What's up, girly? Coming over.
Nasty. We're talking about you earlier, Shug. In Bikini's live stream for her birthday, we were talking because Dorian's in the Navy, Shug was in the Navy, and I was in the Navy, and I mixed those two up.
Oh.
And no, it's not because they're both brown. It's just because they're both semen. I told Dorian I wanted to look at my butt for a rash because I forgot that Shug Nasty is the medical guy, and I was like, oh, I just mixed them up.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's a bad one to mix up.
Yeah. Shug. Hey Sean, it's been too long. Dorian says I've got a CGC 4.5 and it's one of my top graded cards because it's sentimental. Yeah. I have a Riolu San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It's a 6. And it sells for like $5, but it means a lot to me because it's from Comic-Con and I love Comic-Con. That's my thoughts.
I've never gone to Comic-Con, so that's something
I'll look at your butt, Gonzo. Sister. Gonzo just out here telling people to check out rashes on his butt. Bro.
I don't know where you're going with that one. I know you said anything is, not much things are off limits, but I didn't know that one was going to come out.
Oh, I do. I will. A lot of people have been asking for an After Dark podcast again, where I just tell stories from the Navy, where it's like 18 and up. And once I'm done with the live stream, I unlist it so no one can ever watch it again.
Well, that's what happens with Instagram lives. I mean, for some people that have seen my lives or whatever,
some lives.
Yeah, so I have a friend.
I think it's like 20 minutes. Or they go if you're live for 20 minutes or so, we can keep it and people can go back and watch it. But I think at a certain
you
point
can
they do
post
cut
it.
off.
So you can post it if you want to post it. I don't usually post mine. You know, I used to like all the time, but now I don't really, unless I get certain people that will like message me and say, "Hey, I missed your podcast tonight. I really wanted to see it." Then I'll be like, "Okay, I'll put it up for, you know, a day or two or whatever, and then I'll, you know, archive it, because if not, you're gonna have a lot of ripping on there, you know." So
Yeah.
but yeah, I have a friend, Poctini, on Instagram, and he does Poctini after hours. And so I've popped on there after hours. We're eating In-N-Out, and we have like Hawaii friends that'll come through. It's like really late, early, or you know, like afternoon for them, you know. And we're sitting here eating In-N-Out, and they're all mad because they don't have In-N-Out in Hawaii. And so we just, you know.
Here's the hottest take of the night. Born and raised in San Diego. Fucking hate In-N-Out.
That's funny.
Hot.
That is a hot take.
For how much I hate Texas.
Do you like Whataburger?
Some of Texas. I love Whataburger.
See,
love it. It's so good.
I like their ketchup. They have like their own specialty ketchup, but I am not a huge Whataburger fan. It's changed a lot. Like the Whataburger I grew up with, I loved as a kid, but it's not the same. It doesn't taste the same as it did in the late 90s. You know what I mean? Like
they had a little bit of spice to it, but it wasn't like super spicy, if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Their breakfast is good.
Blasphemy, unsubbing.
Honey butter biscuits. I was waiting for someone to say honey butter biscuits slap at 3 a.m. I agree on that one. That's for sure. Their breakfast is better than their other stuff these days. I mean, that's just my perspective. And then I don't want to wait 20 minutes in a drive-through, and it's like not.
What?
Are they mad at me or you?
Because I said I don't.
I like the In-N-Out. Follow me. You can block him. I like the In-N-Out. Come over here.
It's just so. I don't like. It's good for the price point.
Yeah.
But like when people are like, "Oh, it's the best burger in town," it's not. It's not worth me waiting a half hour in a line for a drive-thru.
Y'all's are crazy at y'all's. I mean, ours is not that long in our drive-thrus. I think it's just a Cali thing that everyone wants it. But I will tell you later, because I don't have my dinner planned out. If you get a picture from me later eating an In-N-Out burger, don't get mad.
I'm not. I don't care. I don't like. I'm not as passionate. Like people are like, "Oh, Raichu sucks." Cool. You're like, have your opinion, people. I don't care. Like I mean, know all these people are joking too, but some people are so crazy about their opinions.
Well, it's kind of like I've talked with Powder if he's still in here, and I'm like, he does the no more Zard cards and no more Zards, and like you know, or he's like total Zards, you know, like pick which one. And like for me, Charizard's awesome, but I feel like he's overrated in a sense. And I say that even with the plushie, like I still love all my Pokemon. Don't get it twisted. Okay. However, I love Charmeleon and Charmander. So like if I was gonna pick, like Charizard straight was like if you know the cartoon and the anime of Pokemon, he was not good to Ash. You know what I mean? Like, and people are like, we love Char. I'm like, dude, he does not care.
It's funny because when he started to like Ash and like was starting to understand what was going on, he met a lady Zard and he's like, I'm out, bro.
Like, bye, peace out.
I'm about to get lured.
But that's what I said. Like, if you follow Pokemon the way I did when I was a kid and now, but like you know the history of Charizard, so that's why I'm kind of like, I was like, I'll collect. If I pull a Charizard card, I'm not gonna get mad about it. You know what I mean? But it's still a gorgeous card. However, it's not one of those things I'm like, let me, you know, it's not like a Grail card for me.
I don't hate Charizard either, but that's part of the character I portray is like I fuck Charizard. It sucks. It's stupid. To the point, like, and I live like, and I'm one of those people, like, if I say it on camera, I'm gonna stand by it. So when Obsidian Flame was coming out, and that the Charizard that everyone thought was fake because it was so ugly looking,
the one with the crown.
Yeah, I think it was it the not the.
By the way, all those. It's so weird how many they have of them, though. It's like the gold, the silver. Then if that's not the right silver, this is not the SR. This is the SIR. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is a little much. It's like instead of turning this way, the promo's this way. You know what I mean?
Like, for Charizard specific. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. But that Charizard, like I said, I was like, if I pull that Charizard, I'm gonna give it away. Don't care about the price. So I pulled it right away. Actually, Super Duper Danny pulled it for me
Oh
in a
wow.
video. And I was like, oh, if you need it, take it. She goes, no, I don't need, because she was doing a binder challenge. I'm like, she's like, no, I'm good. They said they don't need it. I didn't mean to offend her or they
It's okay.
them. I'm old and I'm stuck in my ways, but I don't misgender people to piss them off. I do it on accident. So I asked them like, hey, do you want this? And they were like, no, I don't want it. You can take it. I'm like, great, I got to give it away. And she was like, or they were like, what? And that's why I explained to them like, yeah, I don't like the card. So it turned out to be like an $80 card that weekend because it was during the release. I'm like, I'm giving away an $80 card. Take it. Hey, but I stood by it and gave it away. Because I feel like a lot of people, there's so many people who do not stand by their word in this hobby anymore.
Yeah.
They will be like, no, this isn't going to be a great. Opossum says it all the time, and I agree with him. Especially not all, some of these investor channels like, this set's not going to be any good. It's not like the hits are going to be terrible. It's not going to be worth it. It's not going to go anywhere. But then they'll buy it. They'll buy dozens of them for the rip and ship.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Stand by what you say. If you don't think it's going to be worth it,
like that.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
Like it's an $80 card. I'm taking that hit. I said I don't want it. And same thing
just like I said, like I prefer Charmander or Charmeleon. Charmeleon was like had a little edge to him. You know what I mean? I was like, but I have a Charizard plushie up here. You know what I mean? Like I still like Charizard. But I'm not gonna like go and seek him out. You know what I mean? Like I just think about how he treated Ash. That's every time I go back. But I'm with you. I think I think it was Old Time said Gengar over Charizard. I feel that. I got Gengar.
Yeah, I love Gengar over Charizard. Easy.
I like Haunter over Gengar. That's my personal opinion.
I like him. I love the Haunter from the episode where Ash dies.
That's a hot topic. I just like that he.
How many times has he died? Ash has died a handful of times, and people don't know that.
Why don't they? My other thing when it comes to the cards, there's not like any Haunter cards with his tongue sticking out, with him doing like his funny faces and stuff. I'm like, why? That's like a missed opportunity. Please, someone put it on a card. Like, if you notice, like if you go back and look, like I'm like, dude, there needs to be more Haunter cards. I like Gengar, but there needs to be more. That's just my.
I think a Haunter card would be amazing for a new art rare.
Yeah. Ghastly too. Well, no, Ghastly just got theirs. Ghastly just got one. That was a cool one too.
Gengar's licking Ghastly's ass in it.
Yeah, that was a good card.
Gengar's an ass licker confirmed.
But that's what I'm saying is that I'm like, dude, you need to get a Haunter. Where's the Haunter love? I don't know. That's my take.
I think it's going to get some love. I don't know why they've been doing it, but I feel like a lot of they'll be giving some cards. I've like the Grotto got a art rare, but not Torterra or Turtwig. Like I feel like they're going to happen, just not right away. But I'm not mad at it.
I'm not. If you ask me one opinion on this latest set, the Ogre Pawns had their due. They should not have gone back in this Prismatic Evolution set. I'm sorry. I don't want a mask. They're cool for the moment, but like I don't know. I don't know. If anyone else has any opinions on that, let me know. But I don't know enough about the Ogre Pawns. Maybe I missed out on somewhere, but I'm like, what are these? Like, what is going on? There's too many. So
Old Time. Old Time is I'm small, round, and mischievous. So it's literally Gengar's my spirit.
I love that. That's funny.
And because Old Time's not that short.
I'm short. I can't say anything to my short.
Old Time is so funny. I met him for the first time at Card Party too. He's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, one of the big things I'd like to do is go to Card Party. It just depends on what it falls in for scheduling and everything. That's what's been really, really hard. Like I've been trying to like meet up with Powder a bunch of different times, and it's just never it hasn't worked out. Like he went to the Houston one. I didn't get to go to the Houston one. It just didn't fall right in my schedule.
I want him to go to the LA one so bad.
Yeah.
Hey, Powder, if you're still here, you can share the room with me and Nick for LA if you come. You can have the bed all to yourself. Nick and I don't. Nick and I will share. You can have the other bed.
I do want to go to. I would love to. I've never been to California, so that's something that would be so. That's different, you know, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I've been to Cali, I've been to Disney, I've done this," and I've never been. Like, I've like camped 2 weeks in Yellowstone. I've gone to Colorado every year for camping, like stuff like that. But I have never been to California, oddly enough. So,
the Poke is a giant.
Oh my gosh, 6'5".
Goodness. And he also has a question for us in the Q&A side.
Okay.
He wants to know, do you have a favorite Pokemon card or card artist?
Oh, okay. So I actually got something. So those that have watched me stream, this is the first time I'm in my spare bedroom. This is the first time I'm showing my background. Oh my gosh. And so when you guys watch me normally on my streams, I'm in my office and you see all my TCG stuff in the background. So I had a feeling maybe you'd ask me a question like that, and I didn't want to have to get up and go to my office. So I brought like 2 different binders in here, and I brought my all-time favorite card. You ready to see it?
I am.
Okay. It's cheesy, but I love it because it's the nostalgia moment, and I just really, really love it. That's my all-time favorite.
I have one. I have multiples of those graded. I love that card.
That would be, and I don't have it graded, but I will probably eventually. I actually do not have the English version yet. I have a friend that has it graded that he offered like for me to buy it from him, so I might end up eventually. But I actually really love this just because even though like the yellow borders are becoming where now we like. It's funny because a lot of people like weren't as big in like when they switched into the silver. There's that debate.
It didn't bother. I don't know why
now we miss it.
Change. I don't care. It's the border. I don't care.
Well, we've been seeing this all like what, a year and a half now, or however long it's been, and now it's like when we open Crown Zenith, it's like, oh, I kind of miss the yellow border, you know.
I don't even notice when I open up older packs, to be honest.
But for this, it is very noticeable in the English, the yellow border, and so I liked this because the focus is on Pikachu and not like the yellow borders. So that's my favorite. So, but it's just a vibe.
Those are the kind of cards I love, is when there's an actual story. Like I do like
that's a moment.
I like the ones with the toys, the little toys instead of the like it's cartoon. I like those ones. The knitted ones.
Yes. Yeah.
I like those
ones. Those are really cool. I have a friend that also collects just the claymation looking ones, which is really cool. Yeah. Those are cool. I love any of those. I love, as a lot of people know in my streams, I love derpy Pokemon. Give me a derpy Pokemon any day. Give me the derps, the derpy card, the slow poke thing like this with the bubble, like whatever. Like, and even that Raichu, that was the reason why I love that Raichu card. He's totally derps. He's derps.
He just wants to take a nap. Leave him
alone.
And
that card, it's so cute. I love it. So.
Yeah. Kev says those are done by Yuka Mori, amazing card artist, the clay ones. I love the clay ones.
Yeah.
I the ones I don't like, and it's this is gonna be a hot take too, because I started with base set. I don't like the ones where it's just the Pokemon and then there's a weird like drug trip background.
Oh yeah, or are you talking about like or it's like a I remember there's a Slowpoke one that is just like a really just a 2D background. Like it's like looks like a hill and a sky. Like someone just drew like it's like the clip art from the early 2000s. You know what I mean?
Like if I it looks like they got a PNG of something and just place it on a blue background. I don't like those
I get it. But, you know, I mean, we're a little spoiled these days. I will say that because we have such amazing art. Like, they're going above and beyond on a lot of these artworks, you know, especially Pokemon. So now when we look back at the old stuff, it's like, why is there like a PNG, like you said, a PNG, like whatever, like little, you know, like clip art in the back. But, you know, that's what they were working with back then. And that's a lot of nostalgia too, you know, and that's kind of, go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of nostalgia, we haven't talked about it yet. Let's talk about you starting in Pokemon, like from the very beginning of your childhood, your breaks, and to how you got to this point.
Yeah, sure. So I was like a 90s kid, just like a lot of us, and I was into the Pokemon full steam ahead. I would literally be so devastated when my mom did not wake me up for Saturday morning cartoons, and I slept through like what it was like 8:30 or something in the morning for Pokemon, something like that. And she's like, "Honey, you needed to sleep." And I'm like, "No," I'm like crying. "I'm not gonna know the
Look here,
episode."
woman.
Yeah, I was like, "Please, I told you not. You really needed to sleep. You were sick last week, or I don't care." Like. So I remember those moments. That will be a reel at some point in time. That's not. That
You
is.
remember when you slept through days of your lives and I didn't wake you up?
Yeah. So that's where it started.
Yeah.
I collected the plushies back then. I'm sure my parents probably have some of my plushies back somewhere. My mom was able to find, sadly, my holographic binder had gotten stolen. So I only had like a small amount of cards that my mom found eventually. And I actually have them with me. I brought them out of my office. But I actually have not taken them. I know people are gonna cringe. Don't rage quit on me, all right? Because I have the cards again.
Yeah.
So what I've done over time is I've recollected the same cards because I've wanted to keep them how I had them as a kid. So I still have them in my little, sleeve 3-ring thing. So don't come at me, okay? There's a reason, because they're replaced. However, I didn't want to redo the order of them. I didn't want to do any of that because that's just like, I don't know, it's just nostalgia for me to see like out of my lens of like my 10-year-old eyes, how I organize them and how I put them in. You know what I mean? So I have those next to me. But yeah, I mean, I started collecting and it was weird. I have 2 older siblings. So I'm the youngest and they did not care. Like they did not do any Pokemon like at all besides the games. If it's anything game related, they're like, okay, yeah, we'll put that on the Game Boy type thing. But like I had to share and we fought over Game Boys. Like it was not fun. I'll just say that. So I have a lot of love for Pokemon just growing up. And then just like a lot of people have done is, they get into high school, they get busy, they get into college, life happens, adulting happens, and they might not continue like collecting necessarily. And that's kind of what happened with me is I didn't continue collecting during those times. I got back into it when Pokemon Go came out. So that's when Pokemon Go came out. It kind of like regenerated like, oh my gosh. And so I was playing Pokemon Go really frequently. I still play Pokemon Go. And then obviously the new games that had come out, I was collecting for like Switch and everything else. So, that's kind of where I started. And I'd pick out, it's kind of random. I would pick up like the check lane blisters that you see like randomly just to rep for fun. I wasn't like necessarily bindering things. Not anything like super strict. And like when it comes to the whole community, I didn't know this really existed. Like I when I turned on my camera for Instagram, I like you were telling me earlier, how you were on YouTube a lot. Like that was your comfort, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't. So like I didn't know that there was people ripping. I didn't know there was a PokeRev. I didn't know that there was all these people. I just was like,
ooh, I'm telling you,
I know. Well, I mean, that's just the truth. I had to live in my truth, and that's what I just didn't know.
Well, and that's the thing, because it's all like, even though it's still in the same hobby, I was mostly a video game and anime person. Like I collected the cards from time to time, and I watched people open the packs. Like mostly at that time, it was like Leonhardt, Super Duper Danny, and Real Breaking Night were my go-to guys for the cards entertainment. And then 2020 hit, and that's how I found Rev, because I was like, I got nothing else to do. Let me delve deeper into my hobby, because I like opening cards. Let's see what else is going on. That's how I found Rev, was because I was mostly, and I still mostly, I love the video game. I want to get back into competitive playing.
That's cool.
But
sure.
Yeah, like
I'm definitely not a competitive player. I'm just sitting here over here playing whatever.
But that's what I love about the hobby. You can watch the anime, but you don't necessarily have to play the game or the TCG. Then the video game's the same way. Like, because I didn't know anything about, like, I knew, and I watched Worlds and I watched regionals when they're on. But as far as like TCG content, I didn't really know it was a thing until 2020 happened.
Yeah, I mean, I was out of the loop with that. I just, like, for me, when I started my channel, I had just some personal stuff. I had a family member that had passed away, And I just was going through some stuff. I mean, I think that's real life, excuse my language, real life shit that people deal with, and grief and all sorts of stuff. And I was really stressed with my semesters and work and just everything, right? And so like it was 151 was coming out, and that's like a straight shot to nostalgia. And at this point, I had already been doing Pokemon Go this whole time, so it's not like I wasn't doing anything. And I would pick up blisters, and then when I would go to GameStop to get the latest games, like a lot of times the manager would be like, "Hey, we have some new product. You want like we got some new Pokemon cards, and you want to see?" I'm like, "Oh, what set?" So like I was picking up Evolving Skies, had no clue that there was any hype. I just was collecting to collect because that's what I enjoy. You know what I mean? And that's how it should be.
Awesome. I love that. Collecting just because that's how you want to collect. Like that's literally my outro is collect how you want to collect. I finish that off in every video and live stream.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know that. But I mean, that's just
I think that's why I don't like investment channels a lot. Let me rephrase that. I don't like a lot of investment channels. Because a lot of them are like, don't do this. You have to like. They're very do this, not do what you want. Do what you want, man. It's your money. It's your hobby. It's your collection. You do it. Not unless they're pitching in money. Fuck them. Like that.
I mean, that's definitely a hot take. I mean, I understand just because I know people that do the investment channels, and I get
why, and I'm friends with some of them. But I think like I'm friends with the ones that are honest with people. Brian, Poke, and E. I would feel like I don't know about friends, but we're friendly enough where like I'll send a meme to him every once in a while, and he'll do the same. But it's like he's very upfront and honest, and he'll tell you, and like even in his stories, he'll be like, "Hey, I don't have the best price. Go here or do this." Like I love that. The honesty is amazing.
Right.
But there's also the fact that like he's not when he's doing his business tips and tricks videos or like, hey, like look at this card, it's going up and down. He's not telling you to go out there and buy it. He thinks it's interesting to talk about because it is.
Right.
That's what I like. Those investment channels I will respect. Yeah. They're just saying like, hey, this is something you should watch. It's not something you should go and buy. It's not something you should sell.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying though, because not everyone's right all the time. So if you're checking out an investor and they say, "Hey, you should sell this now because it's going to tank," and then people go and actually listen to that and they do it, and then there it is. Like there's Pikachu that's not gone down much. We know that from Surging Sparks. You know what I mean? If people were like, it's crashed. I actually know like two people that I guess I don't know if they necessarily checked out channels per se, but they had checked out people's different opinions, and it was like, sell it now, and they sold it, and it's like, no, why did you do that? Like just keep the card.
Investing means holding on to it for a while,
right?
But
so that's kind of
a really good conversation last night on Poker Rob's channel about investment versus scalpers versus flippers, and there's so many nuances that there are differences, but there's like they just like even a standard collector like myself. It's a Venn diagram of all these circles, and we all do meet in the middle at one point.
Yeah. I mean, it all ties in together. So like for me, like I started my channel around the 151 release. And it was crazy. I remember I actually started the YouTube first before I started the Instagram. And I had opened it, and then I immediately tried to post something, and I archived it. Like I was like, I was like, no one's gonna. And then from a professional side of things, like, what if like my university like says something? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna be a different talking point, but but we're all at the end of the day, we're all human, and we all have hobbies, and that's how you have to look at it. Is we all have something that we enjoy, whether it's music.
I like the sports card hobbyists that are like, you should grow the fuck up. That's a kid's game. As I'm like, if you're yelling at your TV every Sunday, because go coach.
Just enjoy, and that's my big thing.
You're not hurting anyone, and they're not hurting anyone. Just do it.
It's your money. Do what you want, and so that's kind of like a '90s kids with money. You know what I mean? That we end up buying cards and enjoying. And
I'm gonna go buy my Power Ranger Megazord I didn't get as a kid. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Well, so I just bought some really dope McDonald's toys off of eBay recently on bid. And it's the Transformer ones. Do you remember the ones where it was like the steak? like the steak that you
the
transfer.
food.
I got the whole set. But that's what
I'm
I'm
judging you
saying is
so
just
hard right
like
now.
I'll have to show you. So I have a couple different shelves in my office that I've shown on my lives before and stuff. I have like the McDonald's chicken nuggets, you know, not
Yeah,
the real, you know, the like the gold nugget
the
and
gold
the
ones. Yeah.
hats and all sorts of stuff. So and a lot of people that follow me on Instagram and watch my lives, they know that I have a pickle hat I'll wear. I have all sorts of fun stuff. And I mean, that's the big thing is just being authentically you. I have people ask me all the time, like, why did you start this? Or what do you want to, you know, do out of it? Or I just started, what I do? And it's like, hey, like at the end of the day, if you want to rip a pack, have fun. People
Yeah.
know that. People feel that you're having fun. And
They,
people
they,
know if you're not, you know, like it's just like be authentically you. I know it's cheesy, but that's kind of
yeah.
what I
Like
go
every
by.
time someone DMs me or they'll ask a question in the Discord, like, should I open it? I'm like, yeah. What?
What's
Like,
stopping you?
if you're asking that question, open it. Like, I'm an enabler. Like, when I like, you can ask
If
bikini.
I get really old product, I'm not asking you.
Oh no, because I'll tell you. Like, if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you to open it. It doesn't matter. Like, it can be like, oh, I got this base set shadowless booster box. I don't know if I want to open it. Open it, you fucking coward. Like, that's literally like you ask Bikini Dratini every trade night. That's what I do because she'll ask that question. She's like, oh, I don't know if I want to buy that. Buy it, you wuss. Like but it's funny because then like I'll just make like I'm like, oh, that's an interesting box. That's all I'll say. And then my friends, they'll do like Ashley Bikini Justini will do the same thing. She's like, won't you buy it, you coward? I was like, I didn't say that. I just said it's an interesting box. You're
She
not gonna
goes,
get
it's
me.
the truth. That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. She's like,
And then
yeah.
I like what Old Time said. I don't know, maybe black market or something. Maybe there's a secret
No,
market
yeah.
where all the child stuff goes. I don't know for the Pokemon
The Pokemon
childhood
stuff.
cards. It's all the garage sales. You got to blame it on the garage sales, stolen. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy stuff, you know. But yeah. So like back with like to your question, basically the end of your question is I started my account just to like have fun with it because I was just going through something and I was just like, this is fun. And then I had multiple friends of mine who have kids, and I'm like, I do a lot of different voices, like kind of like voiceover type stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, they know that I read books and different things. Like one of the things that I actually have, it's not published or anything, but there's a children's book that I've written and I've illustrated, and like I have like family and friends that are like, oh, you should read this, or why don't you get on a live stream and like do something? And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it. So I basically open this. That's why it's also collecting Kate, because I collect lots of things, not just
Yeah.
Pokemon. And so like I collect, you know, different books or McDonald's toys or whatever makes you happy. Do what you want to do, you know? And so that's kind of where I took it is like, well, I already have the 151 Pokemon card. I'm already getting stuff when I go into GameStop.
Yeah.
Shout out GameStop, you know, like, and they're like, hey, he's like, you're picking up the new latest Scarlet Violet game. Do you want, or the Pokemon Snap game? We just got some more stuff. Did you want to pick up some cards? Sure. And now I'm like, okay, well, I'll just record it. And I didn't know that, again, I didn't know there's PokeRev, or I didn't know Evolving Skies was so big. I had been ripping that for whatever, you know, and obviously I did not get anything crazy with Evolving Skies, or I would have been like, oh, look, I got this massive alt art, you know. So I ripped crap, obviously, on Evolving Skies, but I just that's kind of how I started. I just was like, let me rip this. And when I first started it, I took it down. Like I posted my first video. I'm like, no one's going to watch this. And then like, I just over time was like, you know what? After everything happened, like, you know, like I said, I had a family member that passed. It's like, life's too short. Life is too short. Why not? Why not go for it? Why don't you post something? Like, if no one watches it, who cares?
I'm
Like,
here
just
for a fun time, not a long time.
right. So, I mean, just go for it. Say yes. It's kind of like there's a lot of people that say, don't say no to opportunities. Say yes, because you just don't know where it will take you. And it's kind of the same thing. So I just was like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to put that as private. I'm going to post it and I'm going to leave it. And I'm going to see. And that's kind of how my journey started with Instagram, and then YouTube and everything else is just posting what I loved. And then, you know, like I said, I collect a lot of things. I love Pokemon. It'll always be a special love for me. That's why, like, on my profile on Instagram, it says Pokemon love since 98. Like, the show dropped, like October 98 or something like that. And like, so like, that's me. But I also love funny nostalgia. I also love I'm a rocker at heart. I had a rock band growing up with my brother, and so we did a bunch of touring.
The triangle. Don't let her fool you, people.
Yeah. So I played bass, and like I have a lot. I'm definitely one of those kind of emo kids too. So like I just post a lot of stuff that I like. Like I'm sure you saw that reel that I did recently when we had Texas snow. And I was walking outside with my emo hair, and my mom's like, "Where's your pants?" Because I'm in a skirt and whatever. That's real deal.
That's childhood.
Yeah, so.
Dorian wants to know, how do you feel about rip and chips or poke community nowadays with popularity rising exponentially since 2020, and a lot of joining for the money now. There are good and bad ones, of course. Rip and chips, I love some and I don't love others. It doesn't even necessarily depend. Like, yeah, whatnot. We all know the horror stories of that. But rip and chips, you need to understand what they're selling and why they're selling it for the price they are. But go watch them for the entertainment, because that's what they're for. That's how I feel about rip and chips. I watch Joey and I buy from Joey. I watch Chris Pie and I buy from Chris Pie. There's not a whole lot of rip and chippers I do watch now, just because it's not for me. I like buying my product myself, so it's mostly like I buy from my friends because I want to support my friends.
Right, and I think that's great. If you know the person's a genuine person that's doing this for the right reason. Like I have someone that I watch on Twitch, my friend Trainers from Lavender. He's on Instagram too. So shout out to him. I'll randomly buy stuff from him and his rip and chips, because he more so buys in more of a quantity situation than let me overprice something to get something big bang for your buck. Because what you'll see is people will price hike 50%. And that's the kind of stuff that I don't like. You know what I mean? Because they didn't allocate they didn't get the quantity size where it's like, okay, I'll just make $5 off this person. They go 50%. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of stuff that I would stay away from, if you're trying to collect or whatever. Now, if it's just support a friend and like they're on a whatnot or whatever it is, I understand, because I've done that too. And I've spent maybe more than I would normally spend because I know it's going to someone that enjoys the hobby. So I think you just need to
just sit back and watch them for a little bit. Don't fall into the hype and buy right away just because they have good prices. Like get to know your rip and chipper first. Hang out before you buy.
Right. I agree with that.
Old Time Poke says,
I'm looking at the elder emos unite. I hope I'm not called an elder. So.
You're in your 30s, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I am. So
you're an elder. Get over it.
Golly.
OTP says, Miss OTP handled a few teenagers at Walmart yesterday, caught a restock, and they were made to act like respectable Poke citizens.
How it should be.
With the devil and knife emojis to go with it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, some of this craziness with the running. Like it was really, really hard. I don't know if you got to check this out. I don't think we were even following each other at the time for Black Friday, but I had posted a reel on Black Friday, and I never do Black Fridays, guys. Like I never do it, but I actually was missing one of those ETBs. So I was like, $20 for an ETB. I'm like, I'll go. And I was like, if I happen to be up, like I'm not going to set my alarm, but I'm going to if I happen to be up, I'll go. All right. And so I happened to be up. So I went, and that was very interesting because there was a line and it was a bunch of men. And I'm like, oh man, they're here to get a TV or something. Like I did not think it was going to be Pokemon cards.
Joke's
and so then they opened the doors, and I'm over here just walking. I literally just go and get my card because I know exactly where it's at. This is like my normal Target I go to. And so I stop at one of the sections because they actually I was going to laugh because I was like, they're going to put it probably right here. And they didn't even go check that area. And they have two different Pokemon sections. Yeah. And the stuff wasn't there. And I was like, oh, dang it. But then as I'm walking down, you catch my video as I'm kind of walking down, you just see a pile frenzy. I saw people running towards it. And I was like, oh, crap. And then I realized what it was. The guy had brought out, that little middle
the display,
and just like plopped it down, right? Like in the center of the, like, didn't even get it. It's just as like almost like take it. And so there was like,
was that the video that Opossum Bud made a video about?
no one got my video. No, because mine wasn't that as frantic. I didn't show the running part. I hadn't put the camera up yet. I got like the very tail end of it. And then also I felt a certain way about, covering people's faces. I don't really want, I know other people feel different. They're like, screw them, show their faces, but I don't really want that on. It's just not my vibe. I'm not trying to get someone fired from their job or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had basically, when I put the camera up to get it, I was still walking. I still was in disbelief that was the display. And then there's people crowding it. But what was crazy, it took everything in me when I voiceovered this reel to not be like, look at this lady with the baby. There was a lady with a baby strapped to her chest, dangling baby legs, a hot Starbucks coffee, like in her hand. And she just took a.
You said it's not up on your Instagram?
No, it is on my Instagram, but it's not here.
Oh, is it hidden?
Oh no, it's not. It's there. I'll see where it's at. I mean, you're gonna have to go back. I post a lot, so let me see if I can find it real quick. But let me see.
Oh, hold on, I'll make it easy for you. Which one? Which thumbnail?
It would be. Let me see here. It's not the Black Friday. Oh yeah, it's the Black Friday Target one. Go up. There should be a buy. I think it's that one. Hold on, let me see. Yes, it is. I did both.
I'm here bright and early, so you don't have to let you know if these deals are worth going to. I'm at Target for my first stop, and there was already a frenzy over the Sword and Shield era ETBs, 50% off. Sadly, I didn't get any.
There's a lady.
Some person took 8 themselves. There was a total of 16
and she starts
from what I
handing,
counted.
She took a squat.
And not a lot of people walked away with anything.
Yeah,
so I checked out the Pokemon aisle, and can you guess what I picked up? These weren't on sale, but I got Stellar Crown and Surging Sparks. Now over to Walmart to see if there's any.
So
we don't need Walmart.
So basically, what the lady
had a hot coffee in her hand.
So what's crazy though is in the video, because when I was turning, someone was like, move, like someone told the lady to move. So she had scooted her butt just a tad, but she had squatted right at the very bottom of that thing and took all 4. And you see it in the video at the shot that I got. 2 of the last ETBs, she was already handing to her mother-in-law behind the case.
I saw that.
And so, but she's got the baby, the hot coffee, and she's like, I'm just like, what is going on?
She thought the baby was going to keep her safe. Now someone's about to get that.
Oh my God. Well, that's what happened, because the guys had gone to the top and then she just took a squat. I was like, what? And then me and a bunch of people were just kind of standing there, like we didn't know. So I just went around the angle, and if you see, I actually made sure I kind of cropped her face. Like I didn't want someone.
You're a lot nicer than I am. I'm petty though.
But that's the thing. I can't. I want kids to be able to, even though I have some.
I'm a responsible adult.
some fun like banter. Sometimes it's a little raunch, depending on what I do for like funny memes. But generally, I wanted to try to be somewhat kid friendly if someone goes to my thing. So I don't want to be calling people out and be like, "Look at this baby." I probably would have gotten a lot of likes and a lot of shares had I been like, "Look at this lady with the baby hanging."
Baby.
I'm too nice, dude.
You should have added the meme from The Simpsons, the preacher's wife. Someone think of the children.
Yeah, I mean, I love. Yeah, so like, yeah, it was very interesting. And then I went to Walmart and there was nothing. They were just like, we're not even. My Walmart doesn't even mess with it. I was talking to the customer service lady about it. She was like, our manager doesn't even want to sell Pokemon products. Like we just don't even, because their stuff is behind the registers, like anyways. Yeah. So like. They just never have anything. So
that's how one of our Walmarts is too. They're like, because in 2020 someone got stabbed. They're like, no, we're just taking it out. We don't want this.
Yeah, it's not
they took it out.
It's not fun when it's
they
like
put it back for like 6 months, for like 6 months, and then Surging Sparks hit, and they're like, yeah, we're taking it back out. Like we don't want to deal with this headache.
I mean, that's what it turned, and that's sad. That's sad. You know, it's the same thing with the prismatic evolutions. I went to my local card shop for prismatics drop, and the product I bought was from there, and it was very high, but however, it's a family shop. I like the owner and the family that run it, and I'm willing to pay overpriced stuff if I know it's going to a good family that if they're running an LGS and tournaments, I want to support that. So in that case, I will buy it. However, I was very disappointed with the release. I had gone to people were dropping. I was watching people literally even on Instagram, like going from like taking personal days off and going from shop to shop to shop and just grabbing whatever they could. And I'm just like, dude, this is really sad. This is at the end of the day, like, I get it. We're 90s kids. We want to collect, but there's still kids watching the latest show of Pokemon that know the release day, that want to open some cards with their family. And that breaks my heart, dude. I hate that. Like that they can't find any product. I don't know.
I still don't have any prismatic. Never, like, I've had opportunities to pick it up, but I'm standing by my word of I'm not paying over 3 digits for a brand new set that just came out. Like even at like one of my card shops, because I go there so often, I film videos there, and Deep Pocket Monster and I are like, we're good friends with these people. Like they're like, oh, we'll hook it up. We'll give it to you for 110. I'm like, I'm still not. I'm going to say like, no, I'm not buying any. And they understand, and that's how you know they're good people, because they're like, we get it. But and then I understand, because they have to make their money too, because distributors, unless you're getting it directly from Pokemon distribution, they're not gonna get that box for $20 to $30. They have to pay the distributor prices,
right? Because
they're resellers just like everyone else. So if they're like, no, we're gonna sell you this one ETB for a case for $200, they're like, oh, I have no choice, because that's what the people want. So
it's also too, I had a whole conversation with the owner of my shop, the shop that I went to, shout out D20 Comics and Games. They are awesome. And like, I had a conversation because people were calling on the phone while I was there. Like, do you have it? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, how much is it? And he's like, 130 for an ETB. It is a lot. I get it. However, if he doesn't sell it for that, one, he would have been sold out. Two, the person, he's like, I would love to sell it for $80 even, or like MSRP or whatever you wanting me to.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, is I sell it, and out of my goodness of my heart for this, you're gonna take it, not you, but most likely the people that they're gonna pick it up and they're gonna flip it, and that's not fair. That's not fair. And so like, I get where he's coming from, and like, again, I know it's a good family business and everything, so I don't mind,
Yeah.
And karma is a good thing, because I did get good stuff. So
I haven't gone hunting for it. I'm not looking for it when I go to Targets or Walmarts. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for it. And that's the other thing. And we already saw the prices go down when Pokemon announced that the reprint when it comes, it's going to be bigger than expected.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people saw that message like, yeah, we're going to get it all. We're all going to get some. And it's like, hold on. Like, I don't think you guys understand. It's not going to happen right away. It's going to be months down the line.
I actually talked when I was in there with the phone calls and all that of the card shop. If you reread back that message of what Pokemon says, they don't say they're going to reprint or they're going to print more. They don't ever say that. If you look and you reread it, I don't know if you want to pop it up or whatever, reread it.
No, I will.
But it actually says, it makes it sound like there's going to be more product available, where there is more product going to be available because there's multiple drops coming.
Yeah, that's always the case.
So because of new, the EV pouch, we have the it's the EV pouch, and then the booster bundles, right? I think, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Booster bundles. And whatever else extra. So they're still telling like the truth, like, hey, there's going to be more product, like chill out, but they're not necessarily saying we're going to reprint right now. So I feel like that's the they might, who knows, they might be reprinting right now as I speak, but I'm just saying, like, we can't look into the statement and be like, okay, that means they're reprinting right now. Kind of like you were saying, because that's not necessarily the case,
I'm trying. I don't think it was on the Pokemon. Maybe it was on Pokemon TCG, not Pokemon directly. Oh, here it is. Found it.
I don't think he took offense or anything, Ricky. Whatever you're talking about in the chat. All right.
Hey, cutie pies, Gonzo. Sorry, I realized might not have come across weird. Gonzo, I'm talking to Gonzo. Oh no, he was apologizing to you, not to me.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't see anything, so you're good, Ricky.
So it says we are aware that some fans may have experienced some difficulties purchasing certain Pokemon trading cards. Scarlet and Violet Prismatic Evolution products at launch due to high demand impacting availability. We understand this inconvenience can be disappointing for fans. We are actively working to print more of the impacted Pokemon TCG products as quickly as possible. And
they are currently printing stuff.
So they are, and we knew they were going to be printing things because this is going to be such.
But they don't say anything specific about the ETBs or anything. No. You know, so that's the thing.
It just says impacted Pokemon quickly maxima. Print more impacted Pokemon TCG products. So the impacted products are probably the ETBs. It's probably all of it that's been out right now.
So that's the conversation I had with the shop owner, because it's like we don't really know, because you know they don't specify. We hope, but like that's why like people that are asking me, I'm like, it's really up to you. Like
it's going to be printed all year. I agree with Mike. It's going to be printed all year. But what people don't understand is, yes, they're going to print more, but it's not just the cards.
That's the thing.
The scalpers, but we also don't like. It's not just it's not just the cards. They have to print the ETB box, the dice, they have to mold all that stuff in the plastic. They have like there's more things that come along with just the cards. If they're doing the posters and the text stickers and
they
binders,
got a lot of stuff to print.
They have to make more binders, they have to make more stickers, they have to make more posters, they have to mold more of that plastic that they put in there. There's so much more than just, we're going to print more cards. Well, no, you got to print everything. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. So we'll see it in like 3 to 4 months of.
Well, the question that I have is when they do this, as we know, we've seen this before, the quality control goes down.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big one that we're going to see in TCG. That's what I'm worried about. I mean, we saw it with 151. At least I did personally, you know.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, people because there's people, me and Opossum were talking about this offline like a month or two ago.
Right.
Like I live in San Diego. We have scalpers all year round, no matter where.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's bad. I know Cali's bad.
Yeah. And but some areas than others. Like where Ricky lives in San Diego, he might he said he can go to his Target all the time when there's product. I go to my closest Target, it's a coin toss. But if I go to the next closest Target, which is in the next city, it's there. So it all depends on what area you're in, too.
Right.
Yeah, because the people that are in the middle of nowhere.
Like for people that don't know me, that you know, or are seeing me for the first time, so I'm in Texas, so I'm in the DFW, so the Metroplex, and so there's a lot of shops here in the DFW. I mean, there's a big city, you know what I'm saying? So, however, I have not experienced craziness, like I said, for the Black Friday thing. I was like, what's going on? Like, what happened to the TVs? Like,
go get your laptop.
Go for the diapers, you know.
Diapers need to be put on Black Friday prices. I'd fight people for diapers. Those are expensive. My parents know. I had to buy my diapers.
I'm like, what is going on?
$50 just for a kid to shit his pants.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So, but now, like even recently, my Target is always like a week late. So every time there's a release date, I'm not at my Target the day because it's not going to be there. It's just not.
Yeah.
So they're a week late, probably because that person probably comes on a Wednesday or whatever it is. And, you know, the drop's on a Friday. So I won't see it for a week, sometimes even 2 weeks. It's crazy. So I have to buy from friends or, you know, however, you know, to get it to me to be able to, you know, rip on Wednesday. Okay. So, for me,
my Target, says Ricky.
So for me, I'm trying to think where I was going with it. So I'm also reading. Thank you. Oh yeah. Hey, what's up, Angry Psyduck? So for me going to Target, like recently with the prismatic situation, I went in a couple days the 2 days before the drop because I saw people were getting it early, and I'm just like, this is crazy. This is madness. But I went ahead and went up there. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna check, and they actually restocked Paldean Fates for the first time. I have not seen, because of Christmas and all that kind of stuff. I have not seen Paldean Fates. They had like a big line of tins, not the big ones with the 6-packs, but the smaller ones that have, I think, 4 packs or something in it. The 20, there's 2 different sizes. There's the larger one, and then it's not the mini tin. There's 3 sizes for Paldean Fates.
What? I only know the big one, and then
there's 3 sizes. Yeah. I think it's because it was a specialty set, so we didn't get the booster boxes, so they gave the extra tins, which is interesting that we say that now because for Prismatic they should be doing something like this. So that's kind of an interesting take. So, but anyways, for Paldean Fate, so there's like the big one, and then there's like it's like thicker, like middle, and then there's the mini tins. They had the middle ones, okay? Mm-hmm. And they had them all stacked. There's probably at least 12 of them, I think. I didn't count. And then they had the stickers, the 3-pack sticker blister, and it was like, I think there was 9. So I actually don't have them for my sealed. And so I took 3. And so after I took 3, there was like 6 left of the stickers. And then I took one of the tins. And so I just was like, okay, like there's plenty for everyone to enjoy. I'm super stoked to see it on the aisles. So that night, guess what? I came back. That was probably at like, I don't know, 4:30 before like the madness, all gone. Every single one, and that makes me sad because I know that wasn't just people coming in and being, oh yeah, let me just get, just like I did. Okay, I needed a couple, but let's leave the rest.
Someone came in and wiped the
shelf. Someone just went all into the cart, and that breaks my heart to see that because it ruins the fun for a lot of people, and I hope it does change right now.
Yeah, Virginia makes a great statement. I think other sets come out, people are going to be a little more distracted. There will be more moments to pick it up, and it's going to happen. But then it's going to be Journey Together is going to have that issue where some people are going to be able to pick it up because it's just going to be a leapfrog. Like
I got Team Rocket coming out. It's not going to get better.
Yeah, and I know I'm going to love Journey Together because I love electric Pokemon, and so many electric Pokemon got some love in that set.
Yeah.
Not Pachirisu, like Iono and all her Pokemon, the Wattrel. Yeah. Speaking of derpy Pokemon, I love Bellybolt.
Did you see? I had a reel go viral for Bellybolt.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, I was gonna say because there's 2 different ones that I did, and like one of them was a really big one. And it was Bellybolt, and then I had one that was a crazy reaction. You remember earlier I said I had a friend that does the after hours. Sometimes I'll go in. It was an after hours thing. We were like eating In and Out. I had bought some stuff at Barnes and Noble, some Pokemon magazines, and we're going through facts. And it was like, did you know facts? And I reeled that because the reaction is insane, and it's so funny between both of us. We both didn't know, and we're like top screen. Instagram cuts it right here, so he's on the top. And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "What?" And we're like, "F," like, and I'm having to bleep it all because we normally don't, on Instagram just make it family, but we were freaking out because it was like, did you know Bellybolt's eyes are actually in the middle of its, face and not on the thing. And both me and him, I guess because we hadn't seen it in the game. Now I see clips in the game.
When Bellybolt,
I didn't know that.
Iono, when they got introduced with Iono during the trailers before the game went out, like I was like, oh, that thing looks derpy. I love it.
I love it.
Look at the trainer. It looks so cool. And then
all of a sudden it's like,
I was like, hold on, wait. I was over his eyes.
Right. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, look, let me see if I can. The Bellybolts are up there. The Bellybolts. Doesn't that look like the eyes, you guys?
No,
It looks like the eyes.
Every time
it's a toad
brought up, I dropped that fact. I'm like, did you know?
It crushed my dreams. We literally lost it. And then it was like very late at night. Like for Cali time, I think it was probably like 1 a.m. It was like 3 a.m. It's like on a weekend. my friend coaxed me into coming on this live because we're just eating.
Like,
but we lost our minds. Like it was so, but it's one of my moments I like honestly cherish because that's what it's about. And that's for like me and like starting kind of this journey, like with Instagram and Pokemon and everything. It's also been the people that have kept me here as well. Not only just my love for collecting, but just the people. There's amazing, fun friends. I don't have any collector friends in like my everyday life. You know, like I have girlfriends. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing the Pokemon. Like I do all this stuff with collecting Pokemon. They know I have for years, but they're just like, oh yeah, that's what is it again? Pikachu? That like the Pikachu thing. You just collect the Pikachus, right, or something? And I'm like, well, that's one of my favorites. But yeah, you know, like there's a bunch of different things. And they're like, oh, that's cool. like there's no
whatever.
It's just, you know, so it's nice to be around, I guess you could say, like-minded people in a sense to like, you know, teach you and learn and like maybe because I don't know everything, you know, like no one, like we all learn from each other on different things. And I'm very blessed in a way that like when I came on Instagram, I met people I've always wanted to collect Japanese cards that were able to like be like, hey, this is a good person to buy from, blah, blah, blah. Because I still have in my binder, I can show you what I have. I still have to this day, I'm pretty sure it was some sort of, I want to say it was like a hollow Articuno I traded for on the playground for some Japanese cards. I didn't even know they were Japanese or Chinese or whatever. You know, back then when you're like 9, 10, they're like, look at these.
That
oh my gosh,
a
foreign language.
Yeah.
You know, so I traded something good away for that. So like getting into it as an adult, I'm like, I rip both. I rip both on my channel, Japanese. And I also love Japanese too. When you see the textures, the quality control, fabulous.
It's just better.
It's yeah, in my opinion, but I still love my English cards. Don't get me wrong. But I also love the fact that we get to preview the set like before the English drop. And so I have a lot of people that come to my streams and they're like, sweet, like I'm getting Journey together, but it's, you know, like it's the Japanese form. So we get to go through those cards before it even hits, you know, like it's fun.
I want the Japanese one so bad, but because they got so hyped, they're selling those booster boxes for over $100. I'm like, no, I don't like, and it sucks because that set, and I said it in Bikini Jatini's stream earlier today. Again, happy birthday, Ashley.
Happy birthday, girly. I saw someone say happy birthday early, but I didn't know it was hers. Okay, so happy birthday. She's probably not in here.
That set might get like Prismatic Evolutions. A lot of people fell for FOMO. I might fall for FOMO for that one, and it sucks because I normally don't. But I love the stories and I love Jim, like the partner Pokemon. It's like it reminds me of Cosmic, and Cosmic is one of my favorite sets.
That was really sweet. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate it. But I mean, that's. I feel like hopefully, you know, like I know Mike's in here. Thanks, Mike. Shout out Mike in here. He's always in my streams. He knows how it is. Like I have a community of friends on Instagram that, you know, I hope that
and you have a strong community on Instagram. It's awesome. I was in your stream last night before I had to fight the kids for bath time, and it was. They were active. They were so happy to be part of it. They were going from Instagram to Twitch to boost those numbers.
And that was a hard one to be in. Thanks, shout out Gonzo for coming to it. But I was like, I hope you enjoyed it because it's a little out of water based when you do your first stream. And I didn't have a test stream. So like there was no test stream before this. Like so I was just like I was like thrown to the wolves. But that's the thing. You sink or you swim. And I think I swam. We had a lot of fun. And
it was a little. There's doggy paddle moments, but the point is you kept your head above water.
Right, and it'll get better. Like having both of them at the same time. It's just like me figuring out the kinks of Twitch, and I've already started figuring out stuff. I had issues with music and different things. I was trying to get things situated while Instagram, and thankfully my homies on Instagram were patient with me, and I appreciate it for a first cross-platforming stream. So
Ricky says just sub to you on YouTube and Instagram. Dang, you bunch followers on Instagram.
I appreciate it, Ricky. I appreciate it.
He's about to DM you and be like, yo, we need a collab.
Well, Ricky, honestly though, like send me a DM and just say like, hey, I've been hanging with you in YouTube, because that's the one thing that I've noticed that's been really hard lately is I don't see it's delayed. Like people will follow me and it'll show me like a day later they followed me. And so I'll miss a bunch of people following me, and I never get a chance to interact.
On Instagram or
On
YouTube?
Instagram. No, Instagram.
I think it's because you're like everyone's been saying, you've been popping off lately, that they keep coming. You don't.
Yeah, I don't see them. So like, and I don't want to sound like weird about that at all, but it's like I don't see, like I'll see random.
It is hard. Like even at
so you gotta DM me so I can find you.
Moments when like that got lost in the shuffle. Right. And unfortunately, it does. Things get lost in the shuffle, and it is unfortunate because I do like to respond to as many people as I can.
Right. I mean,
Ricky wants you to sign his hat at Card Party 37.
If I can make it, that's the thing is, I don't know. I hope I get to the point where I can go to different places and not, it's a lot, as you know, to spend on your own dime. Like, I mean, that's what all of us look forward to is like some sort of sponsorship or whatever it is. So you can go to those things and you can meet friends and hang out. But yeah, I would love to go, and don't you, I'm pretty sure, didn't you mention earlier, isn't the creator of Card Parties someone that goes to your shop, or if I remember, isn't it
Deepak Monster?
Yeah, isn't that who created it? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, so, he created it. And I don't regret going to the first one. I was able to become a feature creator for the second one, and my goal is to do it again.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I know Powder had gone to it, and he told me a lot of great things. I have other couple friends too that told me a lot of great things on it.
Well, speaking of Powder, he's right next to me.
There he is.
Powder's my bed.
Where is the Cynthia hair? That's the question. Why did they put him in pigtails? That's
the picture he gave them. Like these are
he
pictures.
should have the pigtails.
Yeah, this is me without a beard, guys.
That's so crazy. I don't think I've ever seen you without the beard. How long have you had the beard?
Since late October.
Okay.
So not that long.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's when we were following, so Yeah. But that's awesome.
And what I love about so these are just the featured creators. These are the ones who are getting on stage. They're going to do something. We're going to do pack battles on stage. We're getting a moment to shine in front of people. This is what I love about Card Party. The featured creators, there's not a lot of them, but so we get that spotlight. But then they also give a spotlight for the attending creators. So like these are all creators who are there. They got a lanyard that said attending creator, not attending, but creator.
See, I just don't know where to get one of those. That's like the hard thing is I just don't have like, necessarily connections with. I mean, I try to connect with people, but I don't know where to. Oh, look, and there's like Sunfrosty, I think. Is she still on Instagram? I haven't seen her in a hot minute. She was like down there at the bottom. I thought I just saw her logo. Keep going. There it is.
Yeah.
I guess she's going. I mean, she's in Florida, so she should.
This page is not available.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess she's
been off. Yeah, she's been offline, so I don't know. I mean,
that's a lot of people, unfortunately, at the moment. Like they just can't keep up with what's going on. And
I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you rip and you do streams like for instance, what I do as well is like, I want to be able to hang out and have fun. And, I'm not a rip and shipper, like I just collect. I know you and I had that conversation and, it's like, I give out whatever duplicates I get because that's the fun of it, let's see, sometimes I'll never see flowers. Okay, that's good to know, Virginia. Yeah, I don't know. It's just glitchy. Instagram's glitchy like that. So like I get used to it.
For like a month and a half, I keep getting a notication that I have a message, but I have no message.
I've gotten that before. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't know what it's your.
I've also had it where people will send me a voicemail or they'll send me a message and it won't light up. I've had that so many times. And it's like, I promise you I'm not ignoring you. Like just send me another message and hopefully she said I've been smiling. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Javi. Thank you.
I would love to have the amount of autographs you gave out, Gonzo. Oh, because I got that was a great. I think I know. So I had a meet and greet table, and
I for like a third party or something.
Yeah.
Or? Oh, cool.
So I didn't know that was happening. They were like, all right, here's the schedule for the feature creators. This is the time. This is where we need you. This is what you're doing.
Oh, that's nice.
And like the very first day, they're like, meet and greet. I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean?
Like, do I bring my smile? Like,
no, I brought T-shirts. I was handing out merch.
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I was like, no one's gonna come to my table.
Oh, don't you
I
can't
was
dim
sharing
your light, you know? Don't do
I was
that to
just over
yourself.
1,000 subs at the time. But it was me and Ian with Ian. We're sharing a table. I'm like, Ian's gonna get a lot more love, and that's fine. He's my friend. I want to support him. I'm going to. But then the lines were forming and people were coming. I'm like, this is insane. Like, this is it was so cool. Like, I still don't know how to, like, I know how I feel. I feel ecstatic and I feel loved, and it's one of those things, like, I don't know how to reciprocate the amount of, like, joy that actually gave me, because I'm in that mindset of, like, I'm in, like, compared, because we were next to Leonhardt and Deep Pocket Monster, so we're like, why are we here with these
that's
two?
crazy. Yeah, you're like, yeah.
But it was nice because a lot of these people have been following me since the beginning.
He's gonna cry in the car.
Yeah. And it was like, they're like, and they'll tell me these moments, like, I found you through this person's raid and you were talking to this person, or the stream, you opened this card. Like, and I met some people from all over the world, Zookeeper girl from the UK, the Juarez family from Argentina. Like, they're so, like, some of these people stuck out because of the memories that they were able to give to me. And then, of course, Opossum Bud was I was like, hey, man, come share my table with me for a little bit. And, like, the people came for him. And I was like, this is that's why I love Card Party, because you, like, even though you're a small creator, the people want to see you. And I got really upset when I, like, a couple of my friends who are attending creators, like, oh, I'm not going. I'm like, so I was like, okay, that sucks, but you need to do the right thing and email somebody and take yourself off the attending creator list. Because even without me knowing it, even though I was saying, like, oh, no one's going to want to see me, no one's going to want to talk to me, even without me knowing it, I was telling them, like, there's going to be someone there who's going to, because they want to see you. I was like, they might, like, they want to see the featured creators. There's big people, but for attending creators, you might be the reason why they're going, and they're going to be like, oh, you didn't go, or I didn't find you. And then when you tell them, like, oh, I wasn't there.
Sad. Like, unless it's something where the person's sick or something, like, if I lived in Florida, I would have been there. You know what I mean? Like, that's the hard thing, is it's just, you know, travel and everything else, you know?
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, Card Party is full of amazing and fun things. It was so crazy.
I heard a lot of great things, and that's kind of like a top, like, I hear a lot of cool things
I'll introduce you to everyone.
Let's see, come to San Diego. Oh yeah, Gonzo was introduced, right? I would love it. I don't know enough.
It's
I have
expensive.
a lot of Cali friends now. What did he say?
He said, because there's a lot of people out here. It's expensive though. Kate, you could do a stream of just chatting about cards in the games, and honestly, anything would be what. Yeah,
I appreciate you. That means
he's going to cry in the car.
Yeah, I will go cry in the car. I'll go cry.
Yeah.
They already know I'm a crier. I don't mind, you know, having emotion. So
have a good night, Lagoo, or a good day, Lagoo. He's over in the Philippines.
Oh, awesome! Thank you, Lagoo. Appreciate you.
Says you literally treat him with respect. Yeah, because what's the point of telling him to go piss off? Like, I've been for you guys who don't know, I've been in security and law enforcement for almost 10 years before I got hurt and decided I couldn't do it anymore for the benefit of the family. That's how I ran my job. Like, if you're gonna treat me with respect, I'm gonna treat you with respect.
Right.
Like, I don't understand the point of being an asshole just to be an asshole. Like, and that was the crazy thing, because me and Nick were attached at the hip at Card Party. Like, I even stole him from Virginia a few times, and people were like, if you weren't with Gonzo, I would come up to you to Opossum Bud, because of, they think he's constantly an angry little garden gnome, but he's not. Yeah, he's so.
See, like, some people I don't really know. Like, I don't know too much. I mean, besides seeing him in the chat, you know, like, there's a lot of people that, even in the chat that I got added to, there's a lot of people that don't follow me, and I don't follow them because I just don't know, you know, or maybe they're not active in the chat, and that's what I hope to, like, meet more people that enjoy.
Opossum he's a commentary channel, and he's very passionate about the hobby, and I love his passion. He's very honest, but he sounds, so a lot of people, he sounds negative and aggressive and just angry, but he's not. It's passion coming off of him because of how much he loves the franchise as a whole, not just the TCG, but the franchise. And and a lot of people were kind of intimidated by that because of who he portrays. And he said it in the Critical Hit group chat that we have. Critical Hit is a podcast group that myself and Dusty and a couple other people are a part of. He was like, I think I mellowed out a little bit. And I was like, and I think it's subconsciously that he doesn't want people to be afraid of him when he goes to these events.
And you said his wife's in the chat right now too, right?
Yeah, Virginia's his wife.
So she can speak up to that. Yeah. I love it. You know. What's up, Kate? Nice to meet you, Kev. Appreciate you.
Wearing my Gonzo shirt today. Yeah,
I like Mike's idea. The rated R pack battle. That sounds fun.
That happened. So because obviously,
so that is a thing.
Yeah, that is a real thing.
Okay.
So at Card Party, they put us up in a room. It was me, Opossum Bud, Cool Trainer Ryan, and Pokeball.
Okay.
Because we all swear in our video. Like, I don't swear in my recorded content. I do obviously swear in my live streams. So they're like, yeah, we want you guys to be you. And they put us in a room, and we were like, all right, we're going to do pack battles for the teams for Card Party because there was teams and points. And so we open up the packs, and we're like, fuck this. Like, we still have 30 minutes left, and packs are done.
That's funny.
We just did we did crowd work. I got a microphone. We went into the crowd, and we started talking to people. Like,
that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was truly amazing, and I can't wait to do it again. Even if I'm not a feature creator, I'm still going.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, so which one do you think you'll go to, both, or is it just one?
I already got I just need to buy my plane tickets for him, and I'm all set. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I had heard that there was a bunch of people staying at the same hotel too, or something, or?
Yes. So at Card Party 1 and 2, the event was in the hotel.
Okay.
So that's where a lot of people stayed. Yeah. But this year they're going to be at convention centers.
Okay.
And but they still partner with a hotel, so you can get a cheaper rate. So that and a lot of stuff happens.
If I can eventually go to at least one of them, it'd be cool to be able to go to at least a hotel that some of my friends. I think that's also the uncomfortable part, is just traveling, alone or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like, I don't know if I want to go because it's just going to be me in a room. Like, cool, go. They're like, but you're not listening. I'm going to be uncomfortable because I'm going to be by myself. I'm like, shut up and go. You're not listening to me. Where you're not going to feel uncomfortable because those people in the chat that you made friends with, the other content creators you made friends with,
right?
The friends will be there. They're going.
You'll meet a lot of people. That's the big thing.
Powder said it great on a podcast he was in with PokeCell's official that went up yesterday. Amazing. You guys should go watch it. And Powder and I have a very similar mindset on it. Like, I went just to go hang out with friends and meet people and do other things, not necessarily for collaborations or to make deals on trades. It's just like, they're friends. Like, the friends is what you should be making, not connections for the business. Because those friends will be, if your friends are there and you have your friends back, just like in real life, they're going to be able to let you know what's going on. They'll give you the hookups. They'll be able to help you out. So if you're just like, hey, it's a business relationship, sooner or later, they're going to be like, you're not making me money the way I wanted you to, so we're just going to fall apart. But if they're friends, they're like, hey, man, screw it, I'll help you out.
Yeah. I like what...
yeah.
I like what Virginia said, too, in the chat. So I'm a big believer on there's more that... oh, my gosh, I can't even think. There's more that we have in common than not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can find things in common, and that's culturally too, like, especially like being in a university setting. I've met so many like different students that have been on visas and all sorts of different things, right? Different cultures, different backgrounds. And it's a beautiful thing because you find there's more that brings us together than divides us, is where I'm going with it. And so I like her comment because that's, people don't want to talk about, people want to always talk about like things that don't get into the nitty gritty sometimes because they don't want a disagreement. And it sounds like, if I'm hearing correctly, Opossum probably brings up topics that might be a little spicy, I guess.
Yes,
And
he does commentary, so he's talking about other people's content sometimes and what they say. Like he talks about Twice Baked Jake is probably going to be the best and easiest example right now. Okay. He doesn't always necessarily agree with what Twice Baked Jake says, and he calls him out on it. He calls out Pokerev. He calls out Ryan. He calls out me, his friends. He calls out Shinyvert. He'll call out his friends. He's treating everyone equally, but people don't see it. And then last night, him and Twice Baked Jake were on a live stream together, and they don't see eye to eye, but they were able to have a civil conversation. And the chat was like, "Oh, don't you guys hate each other?" And he's like, "No, dude, I don't know him on a personal enough level to hate the guy. I just don't like some of his takes." And he's like, "I even agree with some of his takes." He's like, that's why. And I have the same feeling. Like, I don't agree with, like, just because I don't watch or like some of the investor channels content, if they want to come on the channel and talk, I'll be more than happy to, because then we can discuss it.
Right.
It's when you want to start yelling and demanding people, like, no, you have to, you're not listening. This is what it is because that's what I said. Like, once you start telling people how they need to feel and think, that's when, like, no, you lost me, because that's not true. And yeah, it's I
definitely hear what you're saying, because I mean, but that's the thing. I think there's a lot of people that don't know how to have grown conversations.
They don't. They really don't.
And it's interesting. I mean, I've run into a couple different people even in like the IG community. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't like hearing gossip stuff, and I feel like sometimes you can get in. You see the high school stuff, it's like, I got out of, like, high school's gone for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, let's stick to the collecting, shout out Teeny. We were just talking about you. We did a little highlight earlier. We were talking about the belly bolt situation and the craziness on the eyes. Yes. So your ears must have been burning.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is. Like, because people think that Nick Opossum is trying to start drama, but he's not. He's just trying to start a conversation, but people don't want the conversation. They want to be right.
Yeah.
And yeah, but no,
I did a live with Rob. I've done 2 different lives with Rob on Instagram before he kind of switched up and he went to YouTube. So
yeah, so the internet just loves to simplify things to good versus bad. You're not wrong. And it's a shame, because it's so much more than that. There is a gray area for most things in life. You just need to find it and talk about it.
For sure.
Mike says Opossum Bud is one of the nicest people there. When I told him at first I his videos, but then I watch and I love him. He's awesome.
That's awesome.
And I see that a lot in his comment section. Like, bro, why are you so mad? But you don't know what you're talking about. And then, like, oh, okay, never mind. You're good.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, there's also what I've also heard people tell me, at least, and I don't know. So I know for Card Party, especially, I can ask you even, like, I've heard of some people having personas, you know what I mean? Where it's like the camera goes up and they're different. And see, I don't like that. You need to be the same person. And that's what's frustrating, I think, hearing that from me, or not from me, but from other people that have told me, like, hey, there's some people that act like this. You'll see in person, like, you'll know. And it's like, that makes me sad, because you have a lot of people that could be following you, expecting you to be the person you're saying, but the camera goes up and you're that way, but the camera goes down and you're not. Is that something that's you've seen too, or is it just kind of rumblings? I'm just
really curious. Like, because I think people are upset that Cool Trainer Ryan is not the Cool Trainer Ryan on camera. But he is still who he is. He's just a lot more laid back because he knows there's other kids around. He's very open-minded about who his audience is on camera, that they're young adults or adults, and they want to have a good time. They want to have a drink. They want to smoke, and that's fine. Do what you want. And he understands that, but he also understands that there's other content creators that are not purely for the young adult audience, or the degenerates, as the community calls them, the degens. And yeah, like he'll tone it down a bit, but if he's like, he is still very much who he is.
Well, that's fair. I mean, you wouldn't want someone acting like, let's say, rated R necessarily. Not saying him, but just in general. And there's kids around. You know what I mean?
Like after hours, like
yeah. So that I get it.
Like once everything's done for the day and everyone goes to the hotel bar, the hotel lobby, and they do their own thing. At the bar where he can be an adult, he is himself. He's very much like, all right, motherfuckers, let's have some drink. Let's get some fucking gin. Let's get some rum. Let's have a good time. But there's like, he knows there's a time and a place, and I very much respect that. Unlike my dumbass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily have any names. I'm just saying that that's what I've heard. Is that there's like that persona?
The easiest example to say that, because that's who most people are. When people talk to me about it, that's who they.
Is that what they're referring to? Interesting.
Yeah, that's because they want him to be 100% all the time, but he's responsible enough and aware enough that that's not the case, and that's not true.
Well, also you have to think about also, I know there's some content creators that are very high energy maybe when they stream, and like, so I understand, I kind of might relate in a little manner when it comes to if that's what they're talking about with the persona thing, because my thing is I have to recharge my batteries. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a people person. I'm super outgoing, but I also have an introverted side, just like a lot of people do. You know, like I'm a very big mix. And it's funny because I have longtime best friends. They're like, you're totally not a mix. Like there's no way you're a mix. But I'm like, but you're not at home with me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like chilling, you know, watching a movie, you know, whatever it is. Like, I want like me alone time. You know what I mean? Like, I recharge myself, you know? So
Kev the Poke Ghost says, know your audience. Rule number 1, and he's great at it. Yeah, that's all it is. Meet Virginia, time and place. Every creator I met there was so humble and nice as Mike. Kev the Poke Ghost says, the Pokemon community has helped me mentally so much over the past 6 months. And if I'm a part of that, that makes me feel good. If I'm not, that's fine, because at least the community was still there, and that's what matters. Jay, he's on your podcast right now. Yeah, exactly. I hope so. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Kate. Hey, what's up? Digi? Irresponsible Cardboard. Is that who Digi Smithy TCG? Is that your new name? I just realized his logo that's the same logo.
I have no clue.
Holy shit. So Irresponsible Cardboard is a good friend of mine. We used to play D&D together for like a month.
Oh, okay.
But we met through a mutual friend through D&D. I noticed his logo is that. I was like, because I saw it's like, I recognize that logo, but not that name. Nice to see you,
people always switch up their name sometimes. I keep mine the same, so it's just easier, you know. But.
What's up, Poke people? It's me, DigiSmithy TCG, but better known as Irresponsible Cardboard.
Yeah, that's funny.
I hope you start coming back to making content, man. I miss you. Jay, you in your corner also, much love. Jay's corner. Jay's an OnlyFans model. That's where the corner comes from. He shows off his long legs. He's about 6'7". Okay. Not in heels.
Wow. If I meet you in person, Jay, you are like two of me could be standing on top of each other.
It's so funny
I'm so short. It cracks. The funniest thing probably one of the funniest things I've had is someone telling me,
Mama Gold,
my height. And they're like, I swore you played basketball or something. You're 5'11", right? And I'm like, take off the 1. And they're like, take off the 1? What do you mean? Like, what? Take off the 1. I'm 5'1". I'm like, I'm definitely not. I am tiny.
It's funny when pictures go up for Card Party or any other that Joey goes to, he's standing next to somebody.
Does he
like when he was standing next to Deep Pocket Monster, Pat, he just looking down at Pat like, oh my baby. He's a tiny little guy. He comes like Pat. I think Pat comes up to like his chest.
Oh my!
It's like, Jesus, dude. And
I'll fit in if there's a bunch of shorties. I mean, you'll be able to see me on camera. I mean, if that's the case, unless I wear heels or something.
Yeah, I'm 5'10", so I'm not that short, but I'm not that tall either. And I'm still like, "Hi, Dad."
Hey, don't sell yourself short. 5'10", 5'11", 6'1", all that's pretty tall. I mean, the average guy is like 5'7", right? I mean, that's still the
Ricky
so.
Jay's not that tall. Ricky's one of those. He's one out of like 20
Kev,
people in the world.
I believe that. I believe that on that. You'll just I will say this, even though I'm short, I've dated a lot of tall men. So like I get it.
Irresponsible cardboard. I'm 5 foot even, so expect Jay's Corner and Gonzo to set screens for me at card party.
That's hilarious.
Can confirm Jay's incredibly tall.
I bet he's just too.
He's six. I think he's 6'1", 6'2".
The number one, I this with tall guys is I'm like the number one question. I'm sure you're sick of is have you played basketball? Because that's
gonna be basketball. That's not the one I wanted. This one is. Mike says, if it wasn't for card party, I wouldn't have met Pokahavi. Well, didn't meet him there because I didn't want to bother him recording. Well, we've talked a bunch since then.
He's a pretty cool guy. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Javi was on the podcast last week. Last week.
Oh, cool.
And his title was fan to colleague, because we met at the first card party 1, and he had 100 subs, and now he's at where he's at now, and he's like, we're.
I haven't even looked at Javi. Javi, where you at now? You gotta tell me, brother, on that.
Next time,
on Instagram for a long time with me.
Yeah.
So
Sean Bowden, my mom is Irish. She is 5'1", and she says
I am Irish. So there you go, ding ding.
She's the world's tallest leprechaun.
I guess I'm. My grandmother was 4'10". I think 4'10", almost 4'11".
I'm really fun size. This is so relatable. It says inept cards.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Thank your family for letting me steal you for 2 hours. Thank you, chat. Kev the Polka Ghost, Ricky, Sean, Virginia, Inept, Javi, Mike, who else? Lagoon, awesome, you were all here. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Please tell the people where they can find you, what they can expect, and anything else you want to promote.
Yeah, sure. So Collecting Kate is my tag handle on all the platforms. So you can find me on TikTok, you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on Twitch, you can find me on Instagram. As we talked about earlier, Instagram is like my little baby, basically. Like I spend a lot more of my streaming time on there, but I do want to branch out to other platforms. I still post things on YouTube. I am looking to do something exclusive for YouTube, like maybe doing where I'm ripping packs and it's just on YouTube, because with Instagram, I have a lot of funny nostalgia that I post, a lot of funny memes. So if you want to have like a daily, like my first thing on my profile is like a daily dose of funny nostalgia. Like if you want to come in and have some laughs, that's what I'm about. So, it's not just ripping packs. It's also just, having a good day. I mean, that's the big thing is like, I know when I follow creators, I want to like have fun with what I watch. And I try to bring that to all my platforms. So I appreciate everyone that supported me. Thank you, Gonzo, for asking me. I feel very privileged and honored, because I know you said you haven't had a lot of just female streamers coming on here solo.
Female
solo. So that's creator, I love that, and that makes me feel really good that you asked me. And
it's funny. I had one guy call me. I was like, "Why don't you ever have any girls on here?" I was like, "Because it's hard to find. Like, it's not hard to find." The female content creators, what it is, and we've talked about it, they're afraid of people because of how the comment sections treat them.
Yeah.
And so I get it, and I'm not gonna, it's like, hey, if you're not comfortable, I'm not gonna push it, because I don't want to be that guy to be like, that guy doesn't like women, he just wants to. No, this space should be comfortable for everyone, men, women, gay, straight. Right. They, them, she, he, like, I don't care what your deal is. As long as you're not hurting kids, we're good.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big thing is you need to be accepting in all forms. And I agree with that statement, I mean, and so again, thank you for letting me come on and having fun. And probably gonna eat In-N-Out, because I skipped
Doesn't
dinner
work.
for that,
Make sure you tag me, and then we'll share it to everyone.
But yeah. I really enjoyed it. I've been asked a bunch of different times from other people, I'll be honest, like for podcasts, and I'm like, just let me know. They don't follow up, or they don't take it seriously. And then I look at their YouTube, and they might be small or big. I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, I'll come on if you have something that you want to talk to me about. And shout out Gonzo, obviously you for making me feel comfortable to be like, hey, like, I'll support you, and like, if you don't want to talk about a subject, or if you want to, like, and that's where it's at, because that's how it should be, because it is like,
if I make it uncomfortable for you, or make things awkward, you're gonna go to your friends and be like, that guy's fucking weird.
I mean, that's like, right.
That's a channel killer. Like, that guy is weird. Like,
yeah,
all he talked about was this fucking electric rat Raichu for 2 hours. Like,
no. But I mean, but that's the thing. And also, I know a lot of people that do follow me on Instagram. Thank you. Shout out to all my Instagram followers that have come by on YouTube. I know a lot of us cross platform anyways, but I appreciate y'all coming out and hang out in the chat. But yeah, I mean, like, all of the people that come to my streams, I feel like know me pretty well. I wear my heart on my sleeve. That's just kind of how I am. And it's hard because, when you get on the platform, they're like, you'll get trolls, you'll get people. I've just learned to block and move on, because at the end of the day, this is my creative space. This is something that I want to have fun doing.
This is my safe space, not yours.
Right. And I'm kind of unapologetic now on, like, I used to feel bad if I blocked someone, and now it's like, look, and it takes a lot, like, for me to block. It's not like something that I that weighs heavy on me. I don't like to do that to people. However, if I block someone, it's for a good reason. They've wronged me. They've said something inappropriate to me, not stopped. And that's where you just, like, especially in a female stance, or also male too. Like, there's people that can bully you, and, it's two guys bullying each other, and that's not cool. So you just need to, like, make a creative space. And I feel like I've done that. And so I appreciate you, like, getting me on here just to be able to talk about the creative space and getting to know me. And I'm super stoked. I can't wait to meet you in person, man. I mean, I feel like I already know you, but
yes,
it's going to be really fun to meet you in person. I know, like, even Powder's going to get a big hug from me. He's a homie. And anyone that's in this chat right now, you guys already know you'll get a big hug from me if I see you at card party or something. Hopefully I can get my butt out to one of them, somehow, some way, financially. So, but yeah, it's a been a privilege. Thank you for having me on, and I'm stoked to do it again. You can ask me anytime, and I'll come on and crack some jokes.
I'll do it. Maybe on my next 18 and up stream, where I make my military comments and jokes, we'll bring your husband on so he can make jokes too.
maybe. That'd be the first time he's on camera, that's for sure. So.
Oh, he doesn't have to be on camera. My wife doesn't like to be on camera either. But thank you again so much, everybody. Please go check out Kate and her Instagram. That is her primary source of entertainment for you guys. Until next time, guys, my name is Gonzo. Please be ready for the next challenge video in February. I'm really excited for this series. I am working on the dates and times for my next guest. I don't want to promote who they are just yet, just in case they don't work out, because I don't want to ruin. I don't want to promote something I don't have set in stone. And I thank you guys for understanding that. Until next time, guys, my name is Gonzo. That's Collecting Kate. And please don't forget, collect how you want to collect. Peace.
Bye, guys.